Welcome to episode 2 of On the Rocks. I'm here with my boys once again. We got the pros over here. We got the NARPS over there, starting with this pro right here, EPHRAIM SALAAM. Break it down who you are.
EPHRAIM SALAAM, 13-year veteran, movie producer, television writer. I do all things entertainment.
EPHEEZEE in the house. Look at giggling over there. Boy, this is like, what this starter jacket, boy? This is before they started starter jackets.
That's a swap meet jacket.
He was a backup. This is a backup jacket. I think it was a starter. Okay, I'm gonna say some jokes, and we got right here Matthew Hatchie. Break it down.
Yes, sir. Matthew Hatchette. I go by Hatch, 8-year NFL veteran. I'm not as big as movie producer as my man here, but I've done some things.
Yeah.
Sports and entertainment. That's my lane. That's how I do it.
Oh, love it, love it. Let's go over here with NFL.
So I love doing this one because I love the response that I'm gonna get. So Bucky Brooks, 12 years in there.
Yeah.
It's 5 is a scale. Like no 5.
No, that doesn't count.
I'm gonna tell you why it counts. Because it's a pension.
It's all the same.
If it's your pension,
Pension counts,
so
but
it counts.
So the secretary counts.
physicality of football. You know what I
However you
mean?
want to do it.
Okay, we're giving
count.
it ain't stopped you this far, so let's just
It's
keep
not
going.
stopping you for it. Look, talk all ball on a bunch of different platforms. I'm excited to be, and since we're not fact checking, I can say like I'm in people's top 50 most beautiful whatever because you can say whatever you want to say now.
Hold on now.
Absolutely.
Okay, I
I got something there too. We got to redo this whole thing.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do
I'm
another
gonna tell a whole bunch of lies.
twice. Top 50 in the NFL twice over here. Oh, here we go. Speaking of twice,
I'm not even gonna go there.
Here we go.
James Washington, everybody know me as J-Dub. 8 years in the league, just having a great time. Everybody already know them 2 and 2.
Super Bowl championship.
The Cowboys is not relevant.
He would have had 3. He said Troy Aikman.
Too soon, too much.
He said, what did he say? 3, 4 picks? You better leave Troy alone.
Troy just deleted you out his phone.
Oh man, and you know what? This is Triple OG right here. Respect to the whole crew. We got the NARPS in the building. We're gonna show them love as well. But we had breaking news. It was hijacked the show right here. Speaking of Dallas, where Mike McCarthy is out as the Dallas head coach, and Jerry Jones been on record the whole season saying, I don't know if I want to make a change. I don't know what's gonna happen. All season hits, all of a sudden they're making that change. Start with you, my man Bucky. Your response to this and how you think this is gonna play out.
Well, I'm surprised because Mike McCarthy had 3 seasons where he won 12 games for the Dallas Cowboys. And we can talk a lot about whether he's organized and not a great coach. He's Super Bowl champ. He's proven that he can win. And more importantly, he helped Dak Prescott play his best football of his career. And so now when Jerry Jones moves on from that, he has to not only find someone who can help them get to the level that they were, but he has to find someone who can help the quarterback play at the level that he's played at his best.
Hey, James, you used to play there. What's your thing?
I think it was a bad deal. I think McCarthy did what it takes. You know how hard it is to win 10 games during regular season?
Yeah.
We did 3 years in a row. And when all these injuries occur, you got to understand, injuries is part of football, but unfortunately, when your top dogs are injured, you're just not going to play well.
Especially when your quarterback's out.
I think he should have had an opportunity to run that thing back. I like what he brings to the table. I think a little bit more structure, but the fact is, you got to get some dogs. You can't just have one dog on defense and one dog on offense. You need guys that can help around. You need teammates. And you know how big I am on the team.
Like Kendrick said, it got to be plural.
This is the problem I'm having with the whole Dallas Cowboys situation. You spent all offseason last year, and we all collectively talked about what they weren't doing. In terms of making their roster better. And so now you go into a season, you pass on Derrick Henry, you don't even talk to him. He wanted to play there, would have played there for less. 1,900 yards for the Ravens. They're on to the second round, the divisional round of the playoffs. And so you had this whole negotiation with Dak Prescott. Is he gonna make $60 million? What is that gonna be? You had the CeeDee Lamb situation. So you were addressing all the things that really didn't make you a better team, right? Dak Prescott was going to have to play this year anyway, right? CeeDee Lamb anyway. And so you spent that whole offseason not moving, doing anything in free agency. didn't draft well, and now you're dumping all that at the feet of McCarthy. To me, that's Mike McCarthy. He didn't tell you not to make the roster better. I can promise you, he wasn't in there like, we don't need nobody else. Just let me run it back with everybody I got. We good. I can promise you, he wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
So for me, this is great for him because he can get from underneath that shadow. Now he can go be a coach and not have to worry about Jerry coming in and being half coach, GM, owner. Like Jerry said, I didn't buy this team. I didn't spend all those years ago spending this money to buy this team to not run it, to step aside. And so that's what it's gonna be.
And he ain't gonna fire himself, so that's the way it's gonna be. That's status quo. What you feeling?
I think that we're talking about the wrong person. It's not him. It ain't got nothing to do with the coach. It's all Jerry Jones, right? It's like we're in 2025. We have to win this year, right? They went to the playoffs.
Yep.
And if you don't go to the playoffs, any coach across the land is what? Trending down. He's trending down in Jerry Jones' eyes. We know what Mike McCarthy brings to the table. We know he's Super Bowl champ. But Jerry Jones not looking at it like that. It's 2025. I have to have an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl next year, and he thinks he's going to go find that with the new coach. New players, whatever that might be. I don't think it's going to happen. I just think it's about Jerry Jones, nothing to do with Mike McCarthy.
Look, first of all, I'm not going to say anything bad about Jerry Jones. I can't disparage the man.
Oh, he cut you a check.
He gave me $5.2 million.
He paid for the spaceman.
He paid for the basement.
basement.
And I ain't paid none of it back on the field. I was horrible on the field. He kept them checks coming, so I was like, respect. Look, the culture in Dallas right now is really the issue. And that's what they get rewarded to do in Dallas. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I landed in Dallas, coming from San Diego at the time, I was like, they throwing parades, and I'm going down the hill as a free agent, and they acting like, yo, I'm the savior. And I'm like, dog, y'all need to reevaluate this situation. I think the players, we feel that when we land in Dallas, get all the fanfare of Dallas. Like, it's almost like, what else is there to get, to accomplish, to do? Like, you ain't gonna show me more love than y'all did after week 2 when I ran for 80 yards, somebody's feeling, And I think that's the Dallas culture. They get rewarded for so much, even if they're doing so little, it's gonna be hard for that to change. But my man Richie is sitting over there, NYU's finest.
Patiently.
We got the Narps in the building.
Let him go. Let him go.
Tell me what you think of this, Richie.
I don't understand it. I don't understand how there's not a revolt against Jerry Jones. Any other business, any other thing that was happening where the owner was trying to control it and had no idea of what he was doing, and it's a personnel-based business, there would be a revolt.
Revolt and do what?
Let me ask you, who do you think that can revolt versus there's only 31 of them.
31 teams lose
Right,
every
so
year.
who do you think that can come in and somebody say, Jerry, don't do this and or do this?
Nobody can tell him anything.
Okay.
That's the problem. Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. Are you looking for a revolt from the fans?
From the fans.
They're
from
delusional.
Cowboys
that ain't going.
Cowboy fans are delusional.
They win
Like,
one game
they
by
believe,
2 points and they think we back.
They believe every year that they're going to the Super Bowl.
Cowboys fans are not alone. I'm from Chicago.
Oh.
Bears fans are delusional.
Yeah.
Lakers fans are delusional.
Wait, slow down.
It's a
Wait,
whole
time
lot
out.
of-
Absolutely.
There's a whole
Lakers,
lot of delusion.
USC, Dallas, they're all the same.
All the same. But
Hate going on.
All the blue bloods.
Jerry Jones has the money to do better. The Lakers don't have no money. The Bears don't have any money. I call them poverty franchises because the owner's worth is based on the team. Jerry Jones had money before he bought the team, right? Kroenke had money before he bought the team. These billionaires have money. They think of it differently, but the reaction still has to be the same from the fans because you're not getting a good product. You're getting taken advantage of, and you're the sucker.
Let me ask you this.
Who's the sucker? The fans?
The fans.
Y'all are the sucker.
Let me ask you this. Do you think every single owner is what's more important, winning or just having a team?
Ooh.
I mean, let's get to the bottom of it. What do you do?
Exactly.
So
And that's
every
the-
owner doesn't want to win, then why we
And
talk-
Jerry's won 3 times. He won 3
There
out of
you
his
go.
first 5 or
Right.
6 years. So that's already put in the bank. Like people try to take it away every year. It's been a long time. Be like, this called old money. This called old money.
I won
old championship.
I won when you was in diapers.
Right. These are small
And
faces.
how you say, I won and it only cost me 140 million.
Yeah.
And now I'm worth
10
billion.
He bought it for.
I think he's winning.
Million and it's 10 billion.
I think he's winning.
Oh, he's winning every year.
Every year.
It's not about the wins on the field. It's about the wins in the bank.
Exactly.
It's the most expensive American sports franchise on the planet.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. Whether you win or lose. So it's a business. Whether you have 12 wins or 6 wins, they're still buying the merchandise. They're still coming to the games. They're going to be on television in that slot every single time. You're always going to play on Thanksgiving.
That's real.
So it's a brand. He is a businessman who happened to luck into a couple wins early.
Well, don't do that. Don't say
Did
luck.
you say
Because if
luck,
you say
Brad?
luck for that,
Okay, time out.
if that's luck, then that's luck.
First of all, you wasn't practicing in
I-
Austin, Texas. I don't consider that luck. When I signed with the Cowboys, thinking I was going to be out here
You said
in
the
Oxnard.
L word. He said the L word. He in
Bro,
trouble.
it was hot.
My bad, man. I didn't mean it.
The NARPS over there.
You done
That's
messed
what
up
they
OG.
say.
Luck?
Jay, save some of that because that is a great level to look at it.
Oh my God.
And we're over time, we're gonna enlighten the fans, the viewers out there, to how when the owner wakes up, they already won that game. Now the players may win or lose that game, but the owner's like, they are gonna make millions of dollars
No matter
that
what.
day, no matter what. We already got the reserves from the television contract already grabbing interest for it. So these W's and L's mean something different to y'all than it does to us, which takes us to the NFL playoffs. And before we break down the first game that broke my heart, Chargers versus Texas, we all know how that ended. They got blown out. Chargers lost to the Texans. That was a beatdown. That was ugly. But here's the thing. I want to talk about NFL playoffs, what it means to us, the first experience. I don't know if Hatchet ever made it, but the point.
Actually, I played the most playoff games beside everybody on here.
He got you?
Yeah.
No, he
I played in 8 playoff games.
8?
Yeah.
Bro, I played in 4 NFC championships.
I didn't say championship games. I said playoff.
How many
games.
I know, but I'm just saying, think about how many games you have to play to get there. That's all I'm saying.
Hey!
Depends on if you had a
I'm
body.
I'm just saying, I'm helping him out. No, what I was trying to say, he said he's played in 4 playoff games. I played
Sit
in
down. Be humble.
8. You played in 8. I started in 4 NFC championship games.
So can you start the conversation?
We don't
You
round
start
Jay.
the
We don't round
conversation. You
Jay.
start the conversation
Jay
off.
Dub up
He hyped. He hyped. What's in that cup?
Wait, look,
What's in the red?
water today. Water today.
What's in my
All
cup?
right, so break it down.
Look at his
People don't know what NFL playoffs feels like. You do more than all of us.
I'm going to tell you this. It's levels to it.
Speak
And
to it.
people don't understand the speed. We get through the season because we just came off of summer practice, first half of the season, and we break it up in quarters. And we're just trying to get through that season to get to the playoffs, and hopefully you can get that bye to rest up. But it's levels to it. Wildcard, especially if you knew we was the youngest team to ever win the Super Bowl our first year. And we was just excited to be there. And you know how it's excited in Dallas? They thought they had won the Super Bowl when we made it just to the playoffs.
My point.
So expectations was if we would have just won the first game, which we did, man, excited. I was very fortunate because I was drafted by the Rams, so we went to the playoffs, played Minnesota, went down there my first year. And next thing you know, I was in the NFC Championship against San Francisco. Levels to it. And every time, and because Vince Newsom went down, I ended up being the starter during the playoffs. So I was just used to, my first couple years, I was just playing special teams happy. Even on the special team, I got the snot knocked out of me on the first, and I was a gunner. You know, I was that dude that always.
You run it
know,
blind.
I ran up
Right,
funny,
you
and I
just
ain't really. Bruh, I remember the first playoff game, and I ain't even talking about playing like as a starter, but I'm talking about just special teams.
Oh man.
Man, I'm trucking down. I'm trucking, and I'm beamed in on him. And next thing you know,
Ear hole. Ear
I
hole.
was like,
Gas marks.
went to the sideline.
Gas marks. You doing a snake?
I went to the sideline.
Go from your head.
I was like, and you doing the smelling sauce didn't even work.
Oh, damn.
And that was the first, that was a wild card round.
I see dead people.
That was a wild, you know how that, when you get that smelling sauce and it don't work, you like,
It's like, oh,
Damn. See, I never went past the wild card round, so I don't know about this.
that was just wild.
Dang, y'all, look what y'all dealing with over there.
I don't know if it's worth it.
You second tier. You silver medalist, it sounds like, over here in playoff experience. It's better than me. I ain't even on the podium. You got a medal. You got
Yeah, no, I get it. I think it's from when you go from that preseason to the start of the season, there's a jump, right?
Yeah,
From the
yeah,
speed and all
obviously,
that.
yep.
Then there's another jump from this regular season to the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like whatever was going on, whatever's working during that regular season, it's like you still have to switch all that. It's a whole new season. Let's say you're 0-0, you're literally 0-0. And you could have played the team twice in the regular season, but
Don't
that
matter.
third, it don't matter.
matter.
You got to come up with a whole new game plan. You're doing everything different. You're changing your shoes and your socks. You're changing everything because it's physically a new season to you.
Man. What about you, E?
I had the pleasure of experiencing all this young. So,
Houston?
no, and Atlanta.
Atlanta. Oh, okay. Ooh.
Right?
That's
So
right.
I came into the league.
That
as
was
a
when
rookie.
Oh, you played that year with Jamal?
That was.
Oh, he played with you?
He played with me. He played with me.
He was behind him.
Because before I got drafted, I think they won like 6 games, and then we won 14. So I'm just.
You just the X Factor.
I don't know what. I don't look. I don't know what happened before me. I don't know what happened that year.
That's what I said.
That's what the hypest years.
So
That's what the hypest years in life.
I was off the chain.
That year, we were favored by 17.5 to win that
Oh, it was
game.
killing everybody.
Minnesota.
98 Vikings.
98
You gotta
Vikings.
remember.
The biggest
They were
spread
15
in
and
NFL
1.
history.
We were 14 and 2.
Remember this.
Y'all
Y'all had to go up there to Minnesota.
We had to go to Minnesota.
Y'all
That's
piped
when-
in the music?
That's when they were cheating with the.
We're not cheating.
Here we go.
It's
the horn.
not cheating.
With the horn.
Here
The
we
horn.
go.
The horn just went. It ain't a horn anywhere in the building.
But it was.
The horn's
field
playing.
advantage.
No horn anywhere in the building.
The crowd noise was enhanced.
By
right?
great crowds in Minnesota.
And
So,
Randy Moss rookie year. And
number one
Randall
offense in
Cunningham
NFL
ever.
history.
Ever.
Yeah.
And we went up there, and I remember.
They tricked it up.
I remember Art Shell, who was my O-line coach, and he said, "Hey man, you played phenomenal, right? You had a great season. Probably gonna make all rookie team, which I did. I just hey, look, just hold on, man.
Hey, if you don't say it,
These couches
If
so
you don't say it, who gonna say it?
Google that.
He said, well, he said,
I can't talk to you.
we did a heck of a job against San Francisco in the divisional round. Throw all that out the window.
All that out the
None of that matters.
You remember who you were blocking?
Oh my God.
Johnny Randall,
John Randall, which was a psychopath. Okay.
Dwayne Clemens,
Dwayne Clemens, like it was
Derek
one of those.
Alexander.
Yep.
Yeah, let's go.
It was one of those situations where he was like, whatever you thought the NFL was and playoffs were, this is different.
Stop playing.
Because of the type of team they had, we couldn't hear anything. So we had silent count. There was no communication on the line verbally. We took that completely out that whole week. So it was no one said a word to anyone. Everything was nonverbal communication. And so much so, I don't know if you remember this, but they jumped off sides 4 times in that game. Because they were trying to time the head.
Gotcha.
We didn't have any pre-snap penalties, and they were jumping off sides because they were trying to time it.
Yes.
And so just being in that game, the moment of them, Gary Anderson, your kicker, was the best kicker in NFL, had this kick in
NFL history.
But we had the other Anderson, we had more than Anderson.
All right.
And it came down to it. I tell you what changed that whole game.
I already know what it is.
Going into halftime, they were up on us.
I already know what it is.
It was about a minute left in the game, and they decided they're gonna take a shot.
Take a
They
shot.
want more points, right?
Arrogant.
Yes, we were.
Chuck Smith beat Todd Stussy.
Give me that.
Sack fumble, we get it, we scored. We went into that locker room, not a word was said at halftime. Jamal Anderson was like, we got it. We went back out there, went to overtime. Their kicker missed the kick. Our kicker made the kick.
Pressure bust pipe.
Oh, so y'all did get lucky.
What's
That part.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. They got lucky.
When that kicker misses, and then you get it.
What that's not luck.
That's luck.
I'm playing on your word. That's your word, first of all. Look,
How was that luck though?
How's that look? Did y'all block the kick?
No.
No.
He just missed it.
Yeah. Look at it.
And it was a dome stadium. It wasn't like wind.
Yeah. He
With
just
the
missed.
wind.
Oh, okay.
There's no
Pressure
luck.
bust.
Pressure,
Bust
buzz,
pipe.
pipe.
No.
That's what we talked about that.
Do you believe in the football gods?
Well, because y'all
Yeah, they
did all
live
that
in
cheating.
Dallas.
Because they
Y'all
didn't.
did all that
That's
cheating.
hilarious.
They didn't want.
They live in Dallas.
That's the
Okay.
devil.
This is what I want to know, Hatch. What was that mood like? Because I know it was. You could hear a pin drop. It was silent.
So
It's the loudest stadium in the NFL by far.
So sad. So
It
sad
was-
when you lose.
But you know what
They
they
didn't
did?
even sell a hot
They
dog.
played us. They played us. In the third quarter of the game, they came over the PA announcement system and were telling people if you go to Concourse wherever,
You get your
you
Super
get
Bowl
your pre Super
Bowl
Bowl
tickets.
packages with the sign up. I swear to God,
At halftime.
No, third
it's
quarter.
their quarter.
Third quarter.
They are announcing where you can go to sign up to go down to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we were like,
There,
Oh, we got
there-
bumped. We got
there's
we
bumped.
was
nothing
sitting on the
a football
sideline
player
like,
loves
yeah.
better.
Well, y'all can, you can
There's some
actually hear,
motivation.
I'm gonna be honest with you. You can actually hear.
yeah, it was like a timeout.
Oh, yeah, I can hear
TV timeout.
They made an announcement in the stadium
Yeah, you can hear it.
telling people,
here's
I done got
go to get the
I
Super
guess
Bowl ticket.
y'all wasn't the
what
single
his
caller, so I could never hear the sounds in the stadium.
Well, you was
Not
so
well,
locked in.
not
You was
between
so
the
locked
lines.
in.
On the
Yeah,
side.
I done got a phone
Yeah.
number before in Atlanta.
I guess it's
I'm like 7-6.
Is that a 6? 7. It's a 6.
Third row, I remember that. But we got
That's why you wasn't in the playoffs right there.
Because you're not locked in.
You're not focused.
That's
You're
why
not
you wasn't.
focused.
See, that's why you
No.
wasn't in the playoffs
No.
right
The
there.
fact that you can look in the stands
You in the
and see
stands.
somebody be like,
I'm
hey,
blaming my bad teammates. You blaming me. But it is a focus issue. But we got to, look, I love the war stories. We're going to keep them going. But we do got to, review what happened in the Chargers-Texans game. Like,
Yeah.
I want to hear about the
Oh, yeah.
halftime of 98 Minnesota and Atlanta. That's beautiful.
That's the only thing I can hold my hat on, man.
Yeah, that's all we got.
That's all we got.
First of all, let's go to a NARP. I need a NARP to tell me, y'all watching this, I need somebody to get outside of the forest to see this. Chargers, Texans, when you saw what was happening, we know Justin Herbert has had his struggles in the playoffs, but he's also had a lack of weapons in the playoffs. Hurt Mike Williams before, hurt Keenan Allen, then now you got a rookie out there, and that's all to really throw to. What did you guys see, and how was your response to the Chargers, Texans?
I'll start. You know what? I thought the Chargers had a great season for the Chargers. Right?
Wow.
So,
And he ain't lying though.
That's a bad
We didn't beat any really good teams.
That's what we call it.
it
We didn't really beat good teams.
absolutely is, but they weren't prepared for that game. They weren't ready for that.
What do you
They
mean?
looked so out of their element.
How you gonna say that? We jumped on them in the beginning,
dominated. They were
and we
dominating.
dominated. We just didn't get points. We had 6, but we just kept kicking field
Well,
goals.
what's the purpose of the sport?
Oh, it's such
That's
a
hilarious.
What?
What's the purpose? This is to score points.
Yeah.
So you didn't get points, so you weren't that ready.
Well,
What do you mean?
our red zone offense was a little bit
Okay, so,
suspect.
well-
All I'm gonna say is that, but I don't think we weren't prepared.
If my uncle
I
was
think
on-
we weren't ready for the
Playoffs.
yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Playoffs?
What are you saying? You're
No,
just-
but I'm saying
you're-
prepare made me think that we had bad play calling. We couldn't have done
I
it.
don't think it was that. I feel like they didn't. The playoffs are such an emotional shift.
Yes.
Yes.
Like the highs are high, the lows are low. And when they were up 6-0, they really were dominating the game.
Oh, it
They
should
didn't-
have been 20.
They
You were
didn't
too
have
high.
enough.
You were too
They
high.
didn't have enough to really show for their
Not
dominance.
enough in the
Yeah,
bank.
And so then you get a lucky play in terms of CJ Stroud, like picks it up off turf
Yeah.
and do it. And then they come in, they score, Nico Collins. And so all of that goodwill,
Doesn't
you're now down 7-6.
Gone.
And the one thing everyone can speak of about the playoffs, man, when you are down in the playoffs, man, it is automatic. Eyes to the clock. Hold on, man. We only got 2 quarters left.
Shoot, we only got one more drive.
Running out of time.
We got to
We're
score
running
right
out of
now.
time.
Yeah.
And so the urgency of the moment can play tricks on you if you're not able to just stay locked in and focused. And I felt like for the Chargers, it just kind of overwhelmed, not the whole team, but I feel like it overwhelmed the quarterback.
Oh yeah, 4 interceptions of Justin Herbert, he being a former D-back.
What I see is pressing. It's nothing like you trying to make a play instead of allowing the play to evolve. You know, and what we're expecting on the defensive side, we look at that clock too. We can tell when you press it. If your cadence is high.
Yeah.
You know, like I told you, and you guys would admit, it's like a classroom when you between those lines.
Yeah.
Tell him what you mean by the cadence is high. You mean his voice
So
is
his
physically
voice
high?
is physically high when he's pressing. And we're listening for all, as a defensive back, as a signal caller, we're listening to that. And then we go to the sideline and we start talking about it. Hey, guess what? Guess what?
Yeah.
And this is when you go to your corner and the safety, instead of running that kick call, we like, hey, take a chance, because he's pressing. And that's what we're looking for on the defense. When the quarterback starts pressing,
You got it.
you got the entire team, and that's what I thought. And you know, because you're trying to figure out now, you're holding the ball a little longer.
Yeah.
And see, as a defensive back, it's 1001, 1002, 1003. If that rock ain't coming out,
he gone.
right?
If it ain't gone, he gone.
And my deal is now, when you in that 4, that 3.5, if my dogs ain't up there barking and eating, as a defensive back, as a signal caller, I'm on you.
Right.
And if I didn't gave you 1001, 1002,
Yeah,
1000 and a half,
You got to get there.
you got to get there.
And that's what you saw. Will Anderson,
Yeah.
Neil Hunter.
Yeah.
Because they were rushing forward, dropping 7. And as he talks about, like, the clock, the quarterback's clock, like, as those guys started getting around him, I think they said the pressure rate was the highest that the Chargers have faced all year in terms of them being around him. And so in the back end, we always talk about tips and overthrows. So that pressure, ball comes out hot. Now it's fluttering. And you saw pick 6, another interception on things where the ball is high and it's off the mark because he feels the pressure from the pocket collapse.
Even though 2 of them go through the receiver's hands, tip balls, you're saying it's still off target.
It's off target
for what we
It's
expect.
for what he is.
What we used to.
He's used to putting it in the strike zone.
But
So
you
now
you
it's
got to make those
And that's
catches,
it.
though. As a receiver, if it touches your hands, you,
Yeah.
right?
Playoffs.
If it
Playoffs.
touch your
Saw a lot of that too.
Yeah, what you saying?
So, isn't that part of your preparation, right? So don't you have to?
He just want this word.
Well, no, I'm just thinking of it different, right? You have your X and O's, but you also have your mental prep.
approach.
And
like some
just
read
say
books.
pressure.
that's
We gonna get
why
there. We gonna
pressure
get there.
versus
that's why you got to
fight.
read a book. You got to calm it.
Right.
You got to calm it down.
So
man.
maybe Harbaugh
We gonna get there.
has concentrated on the X's and O's, and all of that is good, but your mental state has to be right.
Well, let me ask you this, right? It's Harbaugh's first year. Are they trending up even after that loss?
Of course.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
He took a lesser team. He took a lesser team.
I don't look at it as a win because I know we all know how hardball is, and he wants to go all the way.
Right.
So what he has done is taken a team and changed the identity, and gave them a
Absolutely.
different hope. But I don't think you look at it as a win. It was a loss, but the fact is, are they trending up?
Trending up.
Yes.
You lost the game, you won the culture. And at the beginning of the season,
Love it.
Yes.
all of us who are pundits who talk on shows, we have expectations in terms of when things happen. So the question was, what's success for the first year of the Harbaugh Chargers, right? 9 wins, 10 wins.
Get to the playoffs.
Right, get to the,
That would be amazing to get to the playoffs.
That was the thing, right?
Yeah.
You take this team that is underperformed, has the talent, is underperformed, and oh, by the way, you have less offensive talent than you did in previous years because your 2 pro, all pro receivers are gone. Austin Eckler, your everything running back is gone. So the reality of it is, what is success under Harbaugh? You have the quarterback, but not a lot of the other pieces. And I think they exceeded expectations. So getting to that first round and going on the road and playing the Texans team that had been much maligned, not quite sure what was going on. Their top 2 receivers are hurt. And so it was kind of like you jumped on them early and then they start hitting back. C.J. Stroud is still C.J. Stroud, right? Even though he had a down year. But for the Chargers, I think this was most definitely a successful year. In that division, first year coach,
Well, let's
less talent.
And
Let's
Marcellus,
say this,
Let me say this. Last year, we were talking about the Chargers doing Charger things to lose games.
Yeah.
The Chargers gonna charge you.
Yeah. Well, they did this game.
We didn't hear that through the year.
Yeah.
No.
They fought hard through the year.
No.
And when they lost hard-fought games.
No, but they
And
lost. The
that's-
way they went out is Chargers
Charger
going
way.
Charger,
Right.
which is I'm dominating your first quarter at least, maybe a lot of the first half.
Yeah.
And from a former player perspective, I say it all the time. If we are killing them and the score doesn't say it, we in trouble.
Yeah.
Not them.
We in trouble.
We in
Yeah,
trouble.
that's
And
right.
I swear it was just another one of those games like, only 6?
Yeah.
All right, here they
Because
come.
all it took was a play.
All it took is
One
one play.
play.
One play and
Erase
they're right back.
erase all of
And
that.
the defense starts pressing too, because when you start, you know you played a quality game, and the score is 9-6.
You're like,
and
no, we can't play much better. And they right here, it's going to be a
it
problem.
only takes one play, and you start pressing.
Yeah.
Trying to make a play.
A lot of this is centered around expectations. We're going to move on to the next game, which was the Ravens-Steelers. Ravens win 2014. Expectations different for both franchises. Like the Steelers got them old historical expectations, which we don't plug into every year, Coach. Like you ain't going to win this year. But the Ravens, they supposed to win this year. And so far, so good. What you see from the Ravens and Steelers?
So, after watching Baltimore fall to last year in the AFC Championship game, the one thing that you wanted to see is which version of the Ravens was going to show up. They've been dominating all year.
yeah,
All of it's cute. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and I felt like they looked at Pittsburgh and said, "We're better, so we're not going to trick them, dick them today. We're going to line up. We're going to line up, and we're going to run power. We're not messing around." And that's the version of the Baltimore Ravens that no one wants to see, because when they just line up and keep it vanilla ice cream, look, Lamar and Derrick Henry, you getting big scoops of them. It's hard to deal with.
Hell yeah.
And in that environment, that's what you want to see. And so I was really impressed with Lamar Jackson, before the game, talking about in previous games I've been too antsy.
Yeah.
So to see him ease him into the game like, "Hey man, we're gonna let you run this thing right out the gate. We're gonna let Derrick Henry do it." It was a very mature performance for the Ravens that we don't always see.
I think that what you just said, right? Losing to the Chiefs last year is why they know they're going to the championship this year.
They're
right?
not doing
Steelers,
it.
Hold on, championship or Super Bowl?
AFC Championship against the Chiefs.
Okay.
Right, but they just know Pittsburgh was in the way. They was just in the way, right?
Now Buffalo in the way. Let's go, Buffalo. We're going to get there.
It's the mentality, like you said, though.
And you say that though, but when you look at a young quarterback that's been MVP,
Lamar?
Yeah. When
I don't even call him a young
I mean,
quarterback.
because of his resume, you can't. But he's still growing.
Still taking those
Yeah, that's
lumps.
what I'm
Last year, he took
saying.
his
And
lumps.
you look at him, MVP 2 years in a row, about to be MVP 3 years in a row.
Hell, what about that?
And now you bring a running game.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have to
Like
press.
a real running game.
You know what I'm saying?
real guy.
He doesn't have to press anymore.
In the cold, a heavy back.
And what they gonna do? And I'm gonna get off because I'm not gonna do like most media and always just talk about offense. But that defense showed up.
There you go.
They finally showed up.
But this is
Early
the time.
on. Good Lord.
Yes.
It's a new. Hey, let's get ready for this new season
man.
called playoff.
Yeah.
Now if they show up in the running game,
But it's
Lamar
easy to
is
show
extra.
up when the offense is dominating like they were dominating.
I'm gonna say this
That's-
one more.
that's real.
If that
That's
defense
real.
shows up
Yeah.
in the running game, can you imagine Lamar just being extra?
Because look, you already got the mathematical advantage every play with Lamar Jackson with the ball in his hand. My son is 9 years old and he's a running back receiver like every little fast kid around this country, right? And then I looked at him one day and said, if you could play quarterback, would you? No, I don't want to because they can't run in our league. I was like, but they can run in the league.
So
We're going to start throwing that ball.
Throw that ball.
It is master manipulation with Lamar Jackson threatening to throw and run it, or threatening to run and throw it. It's just, he has the cheat code in his whole game.
The purpose of offense is to make the defense guess wrong.
Yeah.
Ooh, good point.
That's the whole thing.
Motion.
And
It's
you're
to
never
make
right.
you-
If it's 11 on 11, you're never right.
And when you have someone like Lamar, and even Josh Allen to an extent,
Yeah.
no matter if you guess right, they can make you wrong. And that's the danger of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
It is, and I would say this. They may have benefited from Zay Flowers not being available. And the only reason I'll say this is because Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator, was not tempted to showcase Lamar as a passer because Zay Flowers is out there.
That's a good point.
But without him, they had to, hey, you know what, let's get it grinding.
Let's go.
We're going to go. Now, the trick will be as the pressure mounts
It's coming.
and as we get deeper in these rounds,
Who is
whether we're
coming?
playing Buffalo or beyond,
Oh,
can
boy,
Lamar
back here
Jackson
lurking.
continue
Making
to
the
be
throws.
who he is?
I'm scared to do this right now, and I'm going to do it. I know this room.
We about to
We about to erupt. Mike Tomlin. Like, took the L. Took the L, but Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season, blah, blah, blah. Greatest, never won. Coach of the year is crazy. Whatever. Because those expectations are always high in Pittsburgh. It's hard to win Coach of the Year because you never saw it. That said, this is the first time I heard it pretty loud. It feels like it's time to move on for Mike Tomlin. I obviously disagree with that. I don't even have to state the merits, but somebody out there jump on Mike Tomlin still in
Let's go.
Pittsburgh.
Go ahead.
Lifelong Steelers fan.
Who you are?
Absolutely.
Look, represent.
100%.
Okay.
Even when my older sister went to college, her boyfriend's father was the photographer for the Steelers.
Damn.
I got pictures of Mel Blunt on his ring.
You like, sisters, stay in love with
I
this boy.
wanted to be
He cool.
Franco Harris, right?
Right.
It's not good enough to just not have a losing season. There was no way the Steelers were not even competitive in that game. There's time for us.
There was a
They
second.
were there, though.
No,
They were there.
No, they were
And
not.
he's won a Super Bowl before. Y'all always take away old Super Bowls like they don't
Well,
count.
when was it?
I don't
10 years
care.
ago.
When he
2009,
coached.
2010.
15
Yes,
years ago.
2009.
It was so long ago.
So,
It's not good enough, y'all.
Let me ask you a question.
It's not good
Let
enough.
me ask you a question in terms of not good enough. So are you saying that it's time to move on from Mike Tomlin?
I don't even know if it's Mike, but
Who
the,
else?
The team isn't constructed well enough.
Okay, so let me
The
just
team's not constructed well.
let me give you some insight. Very few coaches, no matter how good you are, can win at that level without a quarterback. Since Ben Roethlisberger has retired, who has been their quarterback?
Russell Wilson.
Wait a minute, that's good enough
Russell Wilson.
to win the whole thing.
You know,
Russell Wilson.
See, I'm with you. I'm with
Right?
you.
So,
I'm with you. But
if you
it's,
can
it's still a deficiency.
But if you can
So we gotta
consistently
figure it
win
out.
in a quarterback's league
Without-
without a quarterback,
You're a great coach.
how are you going to replace that guy? Now, as an organization, you can go find the quarterback, right? And now you can ascend to not just not losing or not like having a losing season or making it to the playoffs to now making it to the AFC Championship and then to the Super Bowl. But without that quarterback,
Yes.
in a quarterback-driven league,
Yes.
look at all the teams that are
Look at the wall. Who's
right?
up here?
But like all
If
those
you
guys
don't
that
have
I've
that,
seen.
Yes.
you can't look at Mike Tomlin who put a whole car together with just these pieces.
No engine.
But
And
No
say,
stand, wait,
wait, here's where I can look at Mike Tomlin.
okay,
And I love him and hate him for the same
Okay.
thing. He is loyal to a fault.
okay.
As well, he should be.
Until it's a fault.
And
Well,
this
what's the
profession-
fault?
What's the fault?
And this
The
profession.
fault is Russell Wilson wasn't getting it done.
So who else you gonna put
Oh, wait,
in?
wait,
You
now,
gotta try.
I'm glad.
You gotta-
no, wait, hold.
Wait,
Wait,
I was
about to
wait,
jump.
wait. No,
You gotta
because
try.
I actually think he may be onto something.
Okay.
Because they were rolling with Justin Fields.
Yes, I agree.
And at the time, he sat Justin Fields down to put Russell Wilson in.
And they rolled faster and harder and
they,
better.
They did, but
Until
now,
they didn't.
Until they did.
So now let's look at the landscape of the AFC and the quarterbacks that are
Yep.
playing. Young, athletic, dynamic. I love Russell.
Yes.
But Russell ain't. He ain't
He ain't
dancing like he used to
None of
dance.
those.
Yeah, you're
None
right.
of those.
So maybe if Justin Fields is there, it gives them not what they gave him in the passing game, but in the running game, he's more dynamic.
Yes. Justin Fields is the Cordell Stewart of the Steelers. Right? Remember?
And they could have
Now,
maxed him out.
as a fan, you're saying if you guys don't win it all with Justin Fields, you guys would be saying the same thing. Coach Tomlin, you should have put in Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's a starter. Now you guys are saying you guys should have had Fields.
Never happened.
You guys
They
have
never
to.
win.
You guys have to win the whole thing in
Both
order to
of
be
those-
satisfied.
both of those
And
quarterbacks
that's not
had
fair to the
ceiling.
head
They
coach.
reached their ceiling.
That's not what I'm
They
saying.
reached their ceiling.
You can't keep beating your head against the same wall. The Steelers lost how many games in a row?
So what's the
How many
fix?
games in a row did the Steelers
They lost
lose?
4, then 5.
They lost
And
five or
got
six
to the
games in a row.
playoffs. Right?
And after a while, you have to say this isn't working.
But it
This
worked
is something-
because you made it to the playoffs. And you just lost
Yeah,
to the
because
Baltimore
you
Ravens
start-
with the NFL
All
MVP.
teams gonna lose except one.
But everybody figured it out.
No,
So
they
you gotta go
I
with
say
something
that I,
different.
that's not
I'm a
necessarily true.
I'm a big believer. If you got two quarterbacks, you
They
ain't
ain't
got
got
a
none.
quarterback.
I
I
get
don't
it.
know.
But listen,
Steve Young and Joe Montana. I got
Guess
two
what?
quarterbacks.
And they didn't win
They
until
didn't play.
he was. I'm
Well,
telling
yeah,
you,
Young didn't
when
play
they
when
was
Montana was there.
when they was battling, they didn't win. When
Oh.
Steve Young became the dude,
They
that's
suck.
when they won. When Joe Montana was the dude, that's when they won. But when they was battling, that's when they kept losing in the championship because they was battling. There was no one quarterback. So I believe if you got two quarterbacks,
You got
You ain't
you
got
got
none.
none.
Yeah.
When you have a dude, when they decided to step up and make Steve Young the dude,
Yeah.
that's when he
It's
smashed.
also about play calling as well. That second half when they were down, they came out with a different focus and a different set of
Pushed it down
plays.
the field.
Right? They started actually attacking down the field.
Yeah.
If you start the game like that, the
Make
game
up
changes. It's different. I am 100 almost certain, and I'm just speculating, but I'm almost certain.
Now, I heard 100 and then almost certain. Where we at?
Somewhere in there, 75.
Somewhere in between.
Somewhere in there. That's how you cover both bases.
I know this.
Wishy-washy.
I know.
They came out at halftime. They said, Russ, we're going to give you a. They probably didn't even tell him, but they probably told Justin Fields, we're going to give him a series. If nothing happens, he's going to win. Right?
you
Because
already
what
know.
happened is they came out, they
scored.
they scored.
Yeah.
You got to remember, there was something happened, a drone or something. Justin Fields was on the game that second series. He was in the game. And then the drone happened or something. And then when they came back, Russell Wilson was back in.
Yeah.
So there was
The government
definite-
was involved.
There was definitely some talk
New
in the
Jersey
locker
got
room
involved. Like, oh,
about if this thing doesn't go this first series, then Justin,
Get ready.
right?
Get ready.
And it just so happens they came out, they start really opening it up, throwing the ball down the field.
yeah.
Now they got a
You know, Mike hit him with that double tap, like,
right?
boy, you don't
But they got a
boy.
problem at receiver, like they've had it at receiver there under Mike Tomlin. That's the pass I won't give Mike Tomlin.
Okay, let's go move on. We got a couple more games to do.
And Pickens didn't help
Bills
either.
and Broncos, two teams that don't have to worry about who their quarterback is. Josh Allen, obviously. Even Bo Nix, he done took that job and gave them some promise for the future. But in that game, it just looked like big dog. I'm at the crib.
Yeah.
It's cold. I know y'all used to the cold, but this is Buffalo cold.
That's different cold.
And y'all
Different
young,
cold.
and y'all look cute. But take that off and just undress them right there. What y'all see in this Bills Broncos game?
Grown men playing kids.
Yeah, I
That
felt
part.
that way.
That's
I felt that way.
grown
That
men
part.
playing kids. Like, this is where we belong. You guys are coming. You know what I'm saying? You guys are doing just enough. But grown men playing kids.
Yeah.
And they was just making plays, making the throws, making the catches. And guess what? Playing great defense.
And they were more physical.
But
Yeah.
isn't that what we're talking about though? Playoff football. When
Yes.
you have experience, that's what you're supposed
Well,
to.
that's
It's like
levels.
when you have inexperience,
It's
that's
levels.
what you're supposed
And that's what
to
it was.
do.
It was a varsity versus a JV.
But
Yes.
don't
that's-
sleep
that's
on
what-
Denver though. They
No,
come.
no, no. This is
They come. Just
yeah.
like we said about the Chargers.
Yeah,
They're
they're not
coming. They got a
coming.
platform, and what you do is you go back to the drawing board. You go back into the draft room and say, well, okay, if we put this here,
But they were supposed to
that
be there.
this
Given,
here,
given the cap
They were
situation
not
on there,
supposed to be
like
there.
No, they were hemorrhaging money.
Yeah,
What?
because they still had.
They paying Russell Wilson.
I think the big thing in
and
Buffalo.
coaches.
They paying Russell Wilson.
Yeah. So no, but in Buffalo, because you know how it is in Buffalo. So Buffalo has dominated the East the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Taking over for whatever. So you talk about levels to this. But for them, the level is they got to level up now. So Baltimore coming in. Baltimore smacked them around first time they played the regular season, 35-10. At the house, can Josh Allen and company do what they did against Denver? Balance
To
offense.
Baltimore?
No.
Hell no.
But that is
A real 100%, not an E from 100%. 100%. Hell no.
Is that an 80%, 100%?
A real 100% at all. Hey, NARPS over there. NARP, what's up, NARP? They over there playing pool. Who winning in the pool game? What y'all doing over there? Cause y'all ain't. Y'all tied? Okay. Y'all must not be football fans. They ain't said a word. Oh, y'all waiting on the basketball.
Yeah, he waiting for us to get to the basketball. Yeah. Hey, you know he waiting for the basketball.
I want to step on no toes.
Oh no, it's all love. All right, let's get off that Buffalo game because it was over before it started. It felt like, right? Ooh, Commanders Buccaneers. A lot of people lost some money on this one. A lot of people was bet.
You took Buccaneers?
You took Commanders?
I took Commanders.
100%. Like if you had followed the tweet, so I tweeted out this thing. We talked about
Take us there.
levels at
What's
quarterback.
your Twitter handle?
Yeah, get it out.
It's at Bucky Brooks.
Okay, let the people know.
So before the playoffs started, I said there are different tiers of quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So there's tier 1, which is elite, tier 2, whatever. So in the elite category, I put Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Jaden Daniels. And so
no Burrow? Everyone says Burrow.
In the playoffs.
no, just the playoffs.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So
He was watching
so it was hot. So the block was hot.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
The block was hot. Now, how you gonna put someone who's never been in there? But if you're watching,
Okay, stop right there. Let everybody know why you put him in there.
well, part of the reason.
Let them know.
Look, so the elite quarterbacks can put the team on their back when they need to.
Okay.
And
In the moment they need you.
So we break up quarterbacks into 2 categories. We've done this on the show: trucks and trailers. Trucks that either carry the team, or trailers the team carries them. When you look at the Commanders, outside of Terry McLaurin and then Jaden, who else is there that you're really excited about? So it's been Jaden Daniels all year, and what we got a chance to see in the moment, he could put the team on his back. And
So,
to
what
me,
tier
that's
was Justin Herbert? Because I ain't hear him in tier 1. He should have been.
He was in tier 2, but after further consideration, I might need to drop him.
But that's
He became a trailer. He became a trailer. He started out. He drove to the stadium and got drove back. He drove to the stadium.
Transformer.
And stopped at IHOP and got in the back.
Yeah. Hey, no, hey, we're gonna put you back here, though.
No, leave Herbie alone. Leave Herbie alone. Hey, everything you can say about Jaden Daniels, I'm going to agree with, plus some. I had the opportunity to meet him before the season. This means nothing to football. But when you say poise, like, there's a maturity. There's a grown man who already played in the NFL years ago that is now still in that young guy going out there playing. Like, they showed a zoomed in moment when it was like, I think it was like a 4th down play, and he had to get the first. And it's the play where he did that little naked boot, and then he ran and got it. His eyes, I was like, dog, he ain't phased.
He not even tripping.
I'm like, why is he not phased? And he went out there and did that.
The moment for me was when they was going for 4th down. And I was pissed off they went for it for 4th down the one time, but then they came back out. So the last time,
field goal.
no, but what's this? Normally you could say, okay, the clock is on, speaker's on, but you guys had to check him out in the huddle. He stepped away from the huddle.
Let me get this.
Came back. It was amazing because I'm like, bro, he's from another time.
He got it.
Yeah,
He's from another time.
He got this.
He got it.
And because
That's
he
wild.
stepped back,
That's wild.
and then he walked into the huddle and he said something to somebody, they called the play, but he had already had the play because the speakers go out, right? He stepped back, walked into the huddle like a grown man.
Got it. Let's go get this
get
word.
Did y'all peep during one of the timeouts? He was talking trash to the
defensive
Tampa Bay defense.
And laughing.
I was like, oh.
But no, more importantly, in the moment.
In the moment,
That
the
was-
biggest
that was
moment.
minutes left.
He was at the line
Very
talking to them.
Very comfortable.
I'll tell you this, despite how great he is, Dan Quinn should be ashamed of himself.
What'd he do?
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Yeah.
Why? Too close?
What the heck?
Kick the field goal.
Kick that field goal.
The amount of pressure So I always talk about the psychological effect of football, right? As an offensive lineman, if we're on the road in the playoffs and we drive down the field, we have a 10, 12 play drive and get inside the 10-yard line and you don't get points, psychologically, it affects us. So when we go to the sideline, it's like, damn, we did all that and didn't get any points. And then you come back and do it again in a one-score game.
That part.
You can get fired for that.
Say that.
Absolutely.
Because what you're doing is you're snatching the momentum, the hard work we put together to get down there. And then you come away with nothing. You start to think, well, what's the point? Like, what's the point? It took a miraculous fourth down pass and run in these situations where they could have already been up 2 points if you take those 6 points.
And not only that, but it affects the other teams.
Oh my God, you're on the road.
Now they're pressing.
You're on the road.
Right, you got to
Getting back to the quarterback, you guys realize that he did this without a running game.
He is the running
He is.
They
That's
had,
it.
at halftime, they had 108 yards and 30 yards rushing. They tied, right? And you can say he won the football game and he was the leading rusher when you got a running back there getting paid a whole lot of money. That's when you know that you got somebody special.
Yeah, he's special.
God,
That's all I'm saying.
He could have been the quarterback. Everybody wanted him. Obviously, the Raiders, Antonio Pierce loses his job. He said before the season. Because I met him at AP at the same time in the suite at Mark Davis, LSU, USC. And I'm just sitting there talking. I'm like, AP, how you going to do this year? I hope I'm not out of pocket saying this. But he was like, we need a quarterback, you know? And turns out they needed a quarterback.
Yeah, they decided not to get one.
And they didn't get one. They tried their damnedest to get Jay Daniels. Get in line. Everybody did. No one got him. But the Commanders, we saw that result. We saw that game. That was the best game for me
Absolutely.
of the playoff weekend. But there's still one more we got to talk about.
Yeah.
We got to talk about.
I've been waiting on this.
You ready on this?
I've been waiting on this.
You ready for this? These Eagles,
Let me go.
Eagles, Packers. Didn't go as I expected. Thought it would be a little more contentious. Not a good game for most of it. For me, the score makes it look a lot better than it was. Tell me what you think about it.
Man, did you see how fresh Saquon Barkley looked? Did you see him that first
Oh,
quarter?
here we go.
Because he rested
those legs first.
Because he
rested his rest. Like he didn't do that. Like a salad. He looked fresh and crispy, just getting in and out. I just thought, I was like, you know what? I can't wait to see the fellas because they wanted him to get the record.
I wanted him to get the record.
He'd have been slogging through, but he got
That's
so
not true.
fresh.
to get the record.
He should have got the record and still look fresh as a salad, as you say the next week.
Like a salad. Salad.
What's the big takeaway you had from the Eagles game? To me, it was just like, they just looked better. I thought Green Bay was better, but the receivers were hurting. Jordan Love just a little off target here and there, coming off the little
I think Jordan Love is still on his way up. I think the Packers are they'll be in the Super Bowl next 2 or 3 years for sure.
Hold on, what did you just say?
The next 2 to 3 years.
They will be in
the wild card?
a Super Bowl.
How you jump past the wild card? They gotta win the wild card.
So you guys are saying the same playoff team mid-year? It don't work like that. It don't work like that.
They got a hell of a division. They're in a tough division.
Not only that.
All that changes.
Not only that.
I know that.
They got
Nobody said 3 years ago that Detroit was going to be the best team. Nobody said it, bro.
Minnesota this year, we thought they were going to go
If you look at that squad,
what they need to do is get in the weight room. Because they was falling like flies.
and again, they have three stars.
All the receivers.
What else are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to be.
Anybody got big takeaways from that game?
I do. I have some
suspect.
takeaways from this. Philadelphia's in trouble.
I'm worried about the quarterback.
Philly's the same team.
Philadelphia's in trouble.
Nobody's
Outside of Saquon Barkley,
they're going to take
the
away
dysfunction that is in Philadelphia is going to come back to bite them. All right? Whenever you collectively on this couch, we've played in hundreds and hundreds of games. At any point in a game
don't do this.
any of you played in, Have you ever?
Yes.
Let me get my book.
Have you ever
I went to UCLA, so I'm gonna get a bigger one.
in your life
Yes. Yeah, you do.
looked on the
You
bench
know.
and had a player
You know.
sitting there reading a book?
Look.
Who says black men don't read?
Hey, Buck.
Reading
I
a
appreciate
book
it was first.
during the middle of a game.
Did you say something?
What are we talking about? Yes, everyone here has seen somebody on the sideline read the book.
No one has.
Everyone has.
Marcellus,
A
I
playbook.
know it.
A
No.
playbook.
I know it.
Is that a book?
A
Is
playbook.
that a book?
A playbook.
He had a novel.
He had a great Gatsby.
He had a novel.
He had a book called The Inner Excellence
Hey,
that
man,
he wanted.
so let-
that he wanted to bring back to refocus.
Hey, sit down.
hold on,
Sit down,
hold on.
man.
Let-
Sit down.
Talk about
Sit
what
down.
he did.
Regardless of what we're making fun of that, I just want to make sure that everybody knows him reading a book just did a million times for the young black athlete out there, just so you guys know. That is going to make a difference.
Mama, I can
It's
read
gonna make a
that.
difference.
AJ Brown
Make
read.
a difference in the young
You know,
black
let's go
athlete.
there.
I
I
guarantee
man.
So now,
I was reading before he did.
so now in high school we
First of all,
have
don't
all
be messing my
guys
books up again like this. Y'all gonna do it. I like these jokes.
That's that OCD kid.
Hey, my wife gonna be mad.
Don't touch my books.
Listen, this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Do not blow this out of proportion.
I'm not blowing it out of proportion.
That wasn't that
love
crazy.
He blew it out of proportion.
It wasn't that
First
crazy.
of all, it is that crazy.
is crazy.
What's crazy?
Let me
I
ask
love
you this.
that.
Let me ask you
You're
this.
right. You're right. It
Hold
is.
on. Let me ask you
It
this.
just hit me. I get you. I get you.
Let me ask you this.
Phil Jackson.
If he had had 6 for 120 and 2 touchdowns,
That would have really
is
blown
he
it
reading
up.
the book?
The book there.
It really would have blown it up. It really would have blown it
So
up.
he wouldn't have been reading the book. But because he had 1
He's trying to
or
calm down.
5 or 6 or whatever
His
that was,
mental
With the
right.
history
He's
he has with
He's
Jaden.
trying to get
He's
his
trying to get his
mental right.
mind right.
No,
You know they already got beef.
Listen,
They already got issues.
I
They're
applaud
all
him for
for
That
getting
was
his
his
mind right.
woosah.
I noticed something that a lot of people didn't notice. Hold on, wait. Hold
That
on.
was his woosah.
I noticed something a lot of people didn't notice.
What?
At the end of that
It
game,
didn't have no letters on the
at
page.
the end of the
Oh, wait till I tell you what he said. Y'all hear his answer?
hold on.
I hate you. Gotta hear his answer.
At the end of the game, Saquon Barkley, all I needed was a first down. Saquon Barkley bust through the line and could have scored.
Yeah.
40, 50-yard touchdown.
Yep, I saw
And
that.
he slid, took a knee.
Good dude.
Right? The first person that came up to him after the game and told him he should have scored was AJ Brown. And was telling him, you tripping, you could have scored, and that's the difference. Saquon Barkley is all about the team. He is all about him.
He might be.
And that's
Or the points that you
that's the problem.
Maybe he had him in fantasy.
No, that would make the game.
Fantasy over.
The score,
Fantasy over.
the score was 22 to 10.
That was
Well, so if you score, that's 28-10. That's 18. That's 3 possessions. If you don't score, it's 2 possessions still.
It was a minute left in
They
the
can
game.
get the ball.
How?
They
They
can
didn't
get the
have any
ball.
timeouts.
Maybe he's Vegas friendly.
You don't have to. No.
Maybe he took the other.
All right, here's the worst part. Here's what's right. Hey, Matt, all right, we all clowning. That was bad. You know what the worst part was? They asked him after the game, what were you reading?
He couldn't
didn't
tell
know.
you.
He couldn't even
He
say
couldn't
it.
tell you.
That's what I wanted to say.
He was on
He
that LeBron.
couldn't even
He was
tell
on,
you.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I know it was
Let
that.
LeBron the reader, page 1 LeBron reader. You know they always show LeBron read page 1.
That's funny.
So what I was about to say, I don't know if he was reading, if he wasn't reading.
He was stunting.
But all I know is when people are fake reading, the first thing they do is open to the middle of the book.
That's hilarious.
And if you look at what he did, it's not like there was a page folded.
Yeah, and your teacher ever do this? And she go, and none of them are sticking. She like, you ain't read this book before. And then your teacher, and
It was highlighted and underlined.
Which is all highlights and highlights.
It was highlighted. You can look at the picture. It was highlighted and
Yeah, in the
underlined.
pictures.
Highlighted and
In
underlined.
the pictures, it was highlighted.
Yeah,
you
he
could
did.
take a picture of anything.
I think he was distracted. Whatever he was reading, he couldn't take it in and comprehend it because he's distracted. Because
The
he's flexing.
fact that he's
flexing.
This is the same man.
We're having a conversation
Yep, that's
about somebody reading a book during a game.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So you're saying
That's out of control.
So we're out here in
Out of
Hollywood.
pocket.
So you're saying that's the superstar going to the
Out
restaurant,
of
calling
pocket.
paparazzi and say, "Get me going into the restaurant."
But wait a minute.
Out
I
of
don't-
pocket.
He said
That
he said
part.
that he's been doing this the entire time.
Ain't
It's the
nobody-
first time.
And we
it's
ain't
the first
caught it.
time.
He said it
I
the
love
same
that.
time you
That's
guys
a-
caught
that's
us.
a-
He
man.
said he's been doing this the whole time.
That's
We
a
have
stunt.
so many cameras on the sideline.
We gonna go back.
Somebody
You've
would
never
have picked
seen
it up.
this?
Somebody would have
We gonna pick it up. There have been times. Look, Kaepernick with his protest. Let's be real. There were times he was protesting and nobody
no one
noticed
paid
it,
attention.
and then all of a sudden you caught it. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. In
How
that
about this
experience.
as the benefit of the doubt?
Oh God.
In the season when they had won 9 games in a row, right? They just came off a win, and he came into the locker room and said, "We have a problem.
Yes, that's
We have
the problem.
we have a problem.
Maybe he's
We have
grown.
a passing
He's
problem.
grown from
You
that.
just
He's
won
grown
your
from
9th
Oh, now he
game
gonna do this.
in a row, and there's a problem.
There's a
Maybe
problem.
he's grown from
No,
that.
no, there's a problem. I hate when
problem?
here's a cliche we gotta bust through. Oh, we only learn when we lose. Where maybe he came in and said we won, but we still need to improve, or we gonna end
That's
up
not what he
losing.
said.
But that's what he
That's not
said
what
by
he said.
saying that.
That's not what
He's
he
saying
said.
we got a problem. Like
Hey,
we're
man.
not playing up to our standard,
What's
even
the
though we
goal
win.
every game?
To win.
Win.
But
How?
No, that's not to a coach.
It don't matter.
No,
One
coach
point.
cares. He wants something that's
Brother,
repeatable.
I've been in the game. I've been in the game
Well,
where we had negative
okay.
8 yards passing and won the game.
And your coach said we can't
But the
repeat that
receivers
before.
weren't happy.
Yeah, right.
And
No, but
and
that position is a different position. The farther you get away from the ball,
receivers
the different the
tripping, man. They
personalities.
crazy, man.
And for a guy like
They
AJ
crazy.
Brown,
They
and
are
Phil,
special.
They're crazy.
they've
For real.
already been paid.
For real.
So it's not about being paid. But when you're playing wide receiver and you don't touch the ball,
You
you're
hate
in
other
a track
people.
meet. You're in a track meet and nobody signed up to run 200s all day.
So what you did because they paid you to run 200 all day.
So if you don't
They
get
paid
the
you to
ball,
run 200
it's
all day.
isolated.
You still
And
get
so
your check on Tuesday.
you get your check, but it's beyond
Don't act
that.
like that. That's
No,
all
it's
that
beyond
matters.
that. And so to me,
I want to feel involved. I want to feel
And
like
so
I'm
to
helping
me-
you.
Yeah, get out there and block. Get out there and
I'm
block the
blocking.
safety.
I've been blocking all day. That's what he said.
Hey, no, that's what you saying.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do any of you think that that was anything but showing up? What was happening?
I thought so at
That was
first.
him- that was him saying I'm
That's a
bored.
flex. That is a
That's-
flex.
yeah.
That is doing
Yeah.
this to
Yeah.
everybody who want to say
That's
something.
exactly what it is.
So-
Y'all don't need me. I'm gonna do my own thing.
Right, so that's
He in his feelings.
I think
He's already
I think
finished
it's a
that.
way-
What are you talking about?
Hey, what receiver is never in their feelings?
That's a great.
I don't know.
Any
I
great
know one.
receiver.
I was
I
a
know
team
one.
player.
I know one.
Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson.
I knew
Larry
it.
Fitzgerald.
Andre
Larry
Johnson.
Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Okay, that's 2 out of all of them, though. That's 2 out of all of them.
even all of those guys.
We still got one more game,
I ran
Bucky. I
clear
know
out
you.
routes my whole career. I'm in that conversation. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What we got?
That don't count? That don't count.
You played with Chris Carter, Randy
I
Moss.
have
Hey,
my
hey, that's what you got paid on
That's
Tuesday
what I'm
for.
saying.
They weren't throwing you.
You were the
Hey,
three, right?
yeah,
That's what I'm mad at.
Hey,
you already
the ball.
You knew
He got
from
paid to
practice.
block.
Wait,
He
you
got
knew
paid to
from
read books.
practice.
He got paid to read the books. He was like, hey, Randy, hey, Chris, check this out. You know that
That's what make me.
I know you got Bucky got to go. Bucky got to leave us right
Buck
now.
shot.
Oh, I gotta go read a book. Calm down. I gotta read a book. I appreciate AJ Brown doing so much for the little black kids. All of us, 707.
That's an
There can be
insult.
books all around. I can't wait. I appreciate it.
Oh, my dog. Oh, look. Hey, y'all peep game, though? So when Bucky get up, James act like he on Southwest. I got to see
Hey, you
the whole
taking
leg
this
up.
for?
You ever been trying to board him Southwest? He like this.
I am that dude. Hey, I'm that dude in Southwest.
Seat taken.
Yeah, I got a wallet here, a phone, and your...
Pillow.
Hey, you know, let the NARP in.
Come on, Narp.
Let the NARP go. Oh, man, you
He
so
over here like he on the CTA bus.
Oh, man. Hey, man, I hope that I don't start itching. I got this NARP next to me. All right, we got to get into it.
It's a little scratchy.
We got one more game before. This episode is going to be released after this game, so
Vikings.
people going to know if y'all talking the real or fake. But it's that Vikings game tonight versus the Rams that was supposed to be here Now it's in Arizona. I've had that before. When I played for the Chargers, we had a big fire down there. Ended up having to play in Arizona State Stadium. It was all weird and stuff. It definitely.
This one's for California.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Y'all beat the hell out of us.
Oh.
In that game.
What did you?
Yes.
Did I get you?
The Texans, no, you didn't get it. I had Sean on my side. Choke slam the whole game.
All right,
whole game.
We digress. I need film because I know how you are.
I got film.
I know you do. And so that's going to be weird to just say, damn, we earned an opportunity to be in front of our fans, and now we're displaced, and some of our fans are there, etc. Patch.
Do you know what's going to be weird for? The Rams only. The Vikings was going to have more fans here in LA, and now that they're in Arizona, the Vikings will definitely have more fans in Arizona than the Rams will have.
And that's actually what I was going to say. You know, I'm in the suites at all the Ram games, and most of the games are really away games, even when they play at their own stadium.
But that's every LA team. That's every Vegas. That's Vegas. Wherever there's a nice city, Miami, the takeover is real because
People want to be there.
well, that's not a nice city. Oh no. In the fall.
Well played.
And the temperature drops. We ain't like in
We ain't
April.
going there.
When the NFL schedule comes out in April, people are circling where the nice cities, warm weather.
Warm
Well,
weather
both,
cities.
but nice weather, warm cities. And you saw I said the same thing. You try to get out of it. But here's the thing: when you see New York, you're like, nah, it's gonna be as cold there, if not colder. That's the only reason. So the takeover is real. But on the field, how do we see this happening in terms of preview? We think the Rams got the advantage because Minnesota stumbling into the playoffs right now.
The Vikings are the second best team in the NFC, hands down. They played a bad game against Detroit, so they ain't gonna play 2 bad games in a row. The Vikings.
Oh, they're not? Give me some. I hear that a lot on TV. They're not gonna play 2 bad games in a row. But teams have losing streaks.
Yeah,
so how are they
as a
not gonna do it?
professional, how many times you play bad in a row?
A lot.
That's why you only went to 1 playoff game.
But he didn't go now.
No, I went to 3 playoff games. We just lost them all. We lost them all. Hold on,
That's like not showing up.
Have you not had? All right, raise your hand if you've had 2 bad games in a row.
Oh, shit.
Come on.
I never had 2 bad games.
What?
Well, he was blocking. He didn't.
That hurt.
You can't. I missed that block.
That's back when you could cut the
He
safety.
get blocking.
Oh, you can chop it.
That's back when you could cut the safety.
You can chop it. You're like, Chris, Randy, I got him. I read them off.
Good job.
I'm out. I'm a baby.
Oh my God, man.
Oh, man. We are not on this show lying about nothing. Boy,
These are all facts.
I'm about to say,
this is just what it is.
I've been released. You think it wasn't because I didn't have 2 bad games?
This is what it is.
They said, Wiley, you
But
cut.
most good. Okay, let me phrase it.
Okay,
most good teams do not play
As a
bad
as a
as a group, as a collective.
That's not true. The Chiefs are like on their
But they're
third
winning.
night.
What about the Steelers?
But they're winning.
But
Again, the Vikings.
this year they're winning, but last year they started off really slow. But I get your point, but I don't think it I don't like when you say they won't have another bad game, and it's like, all right, what's the evidence of that? Or what's the materials into
Because
that?
out of 17 games this year,
Well, let me
played
ask you a question.
when they after a loss.
Here's the question, and this will help
He
answer
said
the
after a
question.
loss.
After a loss.
After a loss.
That's what he said. After a loss.
Do you
How many
trust-
teams have a bad game after a loss? That's what he was saying.
Do you trust?
But that ain't a fair one, though.
Do you listen?
I heard
Do
it.
you trust Matthew Stafford or Sam Darnold?
Matthew Stafford's
Matthew
going to the
Stafford.
I'm
Hall
just
of
asking.
Fame, for
It's just-
sure.
I'm just asking a question.
Matthew
Which
Stafford
one do
more.
you trust in this moment today?
If he was only playing against
Today, I just want to
each
ask
other,
which one do you
Matthew
trust?
Stafford, but you got to play against the Vikings. Vikings go blow him out by 20. I don't know what y'all tripping.
Oh,
Y'all watch
Lord.
it.
I think
How much of this is old Viking blood?
I'm taking.
It's all Viking
Okay,
blood.
so let me ask you this.
you were biased.
You guys go take the Rams over the Vikings tonight. Is that what
I
you
am.
got?
I'm taking the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking the
Bet
Rams.
20 push-ups.
Oh, we're going to the weight room right there. Next episode.
You taking Rams?
I'm taking Rams.
Bet 20 push-ups.
I'm taking Rams.
Bet 20.
I'm with you.
Okay, my man.
What about the Narcs? Come on.
taking the Vikings. My man.
Vikings.
My man.
Not gonna have another bad game.
He's gonna get swole up in here.
How you revolt against this?
You guys are all one.
Okay, now we're going to switch gears right now because we got all our NFL out the way for for at least our first segment
we gotta win.
right there. Now let's go into the
You gotta
NBA.
win, dog. Scope.
Hey, you better, somebody can be on there. He had his book out. Now somebody got their phone out. Hey, and Hatchet said we gotta go.
Hatchet said we gotta win this, y'all.
Hey, let's get into the NBA a little bit. That's real. Jimmy
That's real,
Butler.
though.
We gotta talk about Jimmy Butler-Pat Riley. I already know where we going. Look at Justin. He ready. Jimmy Butler-Pat Riley. Like
Baby
how?
mama, or what are we doing?
We're not gonna do the baby mama.
Damn,
He aggressive. He's mad. What are you mad at? No, serious. This conversation is interesting. How the relationship devolved right before our very eyes.
Yep.
Weeks ago, they besties, saying all the nice things, pleasantries. Then all of a sudden, Jimmy Butler doesn't think he can stay in Miami and play great ball or feel good about playing great. Then Pat Riley's like, I'm gonna suspend you. Then Jimmy Butler's like, okay, I'm gonna have a bunch of passive-aggressive plays and videos at you. And now they're in a situation where it looks like they stuck with each other because the trade opportunity is not there. What do you think of it? I want to start with Justin. That's my basketball dog.
It's Pat's fault because there's a level of disrespect that took place, and I feel like because he's so used to everybody bowing down to him
To the
so
ponytail.
long,
Yeah.
He's the boss. He's been the guy.
Yeah.
I think when somebody didn't bow down to him, he didn't necessarily like it. So when he told, I mean, he didn't say it verbatim, but he pretty much told Jimmy to shut up and play. Remember, I don't know if you remember, he complained. He was talking about the other team, and Pat said he shouldn't be saying nothing because he's not playing. I think when that's your guy.
Is that when he said we would have won if I played? Is that? Or
No, he was just talking about the other team, but Pat was like, Jimmy needs to shut his mouth.
And
Saying that to a grown man, and
last
then
play.
That's a whole
you
lot
add
of-
a little racial thing in there. White guys on the blast, shut your mouth.
No, tell me
I
what to
feel
say.
like it kicked in.
No, I hear that. Is that disrespect? Like, if you not playing, why you talking like it would have been different if you
I
played?
think the delivery was how he said it was
Oh,
disrespect.
yeah.
I don't think nobody disagreed that, hey, you're not playing, don't say nothing.
Yeah, chill.
I think it's how he said it.
I got you.
And then Jimmy bucked up a little bit. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not accepting that. And then
We're here because of that? Say no.
that's what started it.
Say no.
That's what
No,
kicked
I
it
know
off.
it got started, but shouldn't it end it too? Like, Pat, me and you talk it up like that. You didn't
Pat
mean
could have
that.
left it right there.
I can tell you where it started. He didn't get the extension he wanted.
I think
That's where it started.
I think
That's where it started.
That's the answer. That's where it started.
I think that was the.
That's
I
what.
think that was
If they would have gave him the extension, then none of this would even
Yeah,
matter.
he'd be out there with his wig
He
on.
didn't get the extension he wanted when it was time for him to get it.
Yeah.
And so now that created an environment to where now if you say that if
That's
you're
it,
Pat
yeah, that's
Riley,
it, oh.
now it's like, oh, okay, you just disrespected me. Now everything, all the other dominoes fall after that.
I can't lie right now before you go. It sounds like this is it because life is a sandwich. No matter how you flip it, the bread comes first. So when we talk about, oh, you made me feel bad, or oh, you didn't respect me, oh, you didn't treat me like, we get taught to our love language is money.
That's it.
Like, I don't care how you treat me, because if you paying me, guess what? That's gonna trump the treatment. And if you paying me, now I can talk about that treatment in different terms.
Yep.
I can dictate terms because you paying me this much. Maybe it's just the money. It's that simple.
It might be, but Jimmy was keeping it professional that whole time.
Okay.
Where it crossed over to where it started getting a little messy is when that happened. Of course, I think the contract was the underlying issue.
Well,
Okay.
well, but why doesn't he have the contract?
Right.
Ooh.
And my feeling is Jimmy hasn't been professional. We have this whole
That's
thing
why he doesn't
about
have the contract.
exactly. We have this whole thing about playoff Jimmy Butler, right? Where he is this beast in the playoffs. Well, there's 82 games. Why aren't
That
you a
part.
beast in 82
games,
games?
that part.
And you just showing up in the playoffs. Well, it's kind of late then because you're not playing with. There's no continuity. Your teammates aren't used to you. You are wasting opportunity. You're cheating the fans. And somebody that's hardcore like Pat Riley, he's probably been looking
From
at
the old
this
school.
right for
Play.
years.
Play
And it's
the
like
80s.
I'm sick of this shit.
He had them
Because
boys
I'm
play.
sick of it. I've been telling my friends, Jimmy Butler, as much as I love him as a player, he's a fraud. Because he's cheating us.
Oh, man.
He's cheating
Rich
us.
should be on the couch.
He's cheating
Did
you.
Kawhi get his money?
He's cheating you. Don't
Did
cheat.
Kawhi get his extension?
Did Kawhi?
Yeah.
Did
Yes.
Kawhi?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been hurt.
Right. You just
Jimmy just doesn't play.
He said he doesn't play
best.
hard. Kawhi can't play. Jimmy can play and does not play.
Why does he keep getting paid though?
Who?
Because he's that good. Potentially.
How would we know?
Potentially.
Since he left Toronto, I don't know how good he is.
Oh, don't twist this.
Oh, you talking about?
No, that's what I said. That's
First of all,
what I
pay some respects, damn it, to the Gibson. It's there for a right.
How can we pay respect to
All
a team
this
that's
football
never
is
won
absurd.
anything?
Ever.
That's impossible.
That's what we want to do right here.
I'm just asking a question. I mean, since we changed,
Sell it.
We talking basketball.
We are
Real
cheap
basketball.
basketball.
Real talk. Take that off the wall.
Why? You got to. Has Minnesota won it all?
Oh yeah. Well, not really.
That's not true though.
And you throw it up. That's
He got a lot.
The Lakers.
He got a lot of legend. He got a lot of legend losers except my dude.
Oh, yeah.
He got a lot of legend losers. Except my dude. That's why I had to slide out there. You went out with that.
Yo, that's Freudian. Like, I have not won. You know, it is. And look at who I love. Those who don't win.
Because y'all got a lot of time.
I'm taking all y'all down.
Wait, you see where I stand, right?
Hey, now I can get on the wall.
Put us on the wall.
Hey, but this is a global conversation. So we're going to leave Miami and take it globally NBA because a lot of people are saying NBA's broken. Saying, I hate this era of basketball. I'm not one of them. I'm going to the Clipper game tonight. I love this level of basketball for different reasons. But I want to hear y'all jump in on this because the Jimmy Butler conversation is a part of it. Then Charles Barkley in the media, are they talking too bad about the product? Just too many three-pointers. Systemic issues. We got a bad commissioner now. All of that and some. What's wrong with the NBA?
I think it has evolved. I love the jump shooting. You know what I mean? But I'm an old school dude and I love in and out basketball, meaning big man, guard. But the jump shooting has evolved the game and made the game faster. So now it's a skill set that you have.
Yep.
You can't just give it to Shaq and he's just gonna slam on people.
Right.
You know, I'm a big Laker fan. And the reason why we do not have championships is that we have not figured out the perimeter shooting. If the Lakers had perimeter shooting, they got enough to go inside the paint. You can 4-1 it all day, box it, all the things you want to do.
Yeah.
But if you can't shoot from the outside in this league, you're not going to win.
Man, y'all greedy. Y'all just won 4 years ago. You're like,
We ain't got championships.
That did not count.
Y'all be taking away chips.
Stop.
Wait, I'm gonna tell you championship. I don't care if they played 5 games.
History.
If you win championship and everybody else played 5 and you didn't win, it's a championship.
Dog, the bubble
The
championship.
Clippers gave up. We want to go home.
Wait, because you know what?
Kobe was scared.
We don't want to be here.
I guarantee you, we be talking different. Hey, it'll be different conversation if the Clippers would have won in the bubble.
Oh no, I give you respect. In jest, I was clowning the ring because the Lakers won it. But in seriousness, it's a championship like all others. However, it is not the hardest one.
It was. It was.
Let me hear
The
that.
world turned off. The world was
So that
turned
means you
off.
can turn on. So you know that if a person loses their sight, all their other senses are enhanced. When all things are around you
Thank you,
going,
Dr. Wiley.
it's more. Your game, without distraction,
He
you're
sound like
better.
me next week. What are you talking about?
Without distraction, you're better. Not worse.
No,
it's easier.
it had nothing to do with that, the distraction. It was the NBA gave LeBron a rest, and they know he needed it.
They were the number
They
one
knew
team in
LeBron
the
was
West.
not going to be able to
They were the number.
He was not going to be able to sustain because he has not in the
They
last
were the
5, 6
number
years,
one
right?
team
No
in
one
the
getting
West.
tired at the end of the season.
They were the
gave
number
you 3 months
one.
off and gave LeBron a good month and a half.
They were the number one team in the West.
No, they gave Anthony
When
Davis
it turned off.
They know they weren't going to be able to
They
play.
were the best team in the West when it turned off. Just FYI.
But right now,
They had been steamrolling people. Just FYI.
Okay.
So you can do all of that and
Nobody
do
worries
this
about
and,
them
and
Lakers.
all of that.
well, the NBA is turned on right now, and people said turn it off.
Turn it
Turn
off.
the
Let me tell
TV
you why.
off. Turn the TV off.
Because it's
What's
refs.
wrong with the NBA? It's the refs.
And to,
terrible.
listen,
That's
and to your point,
Refs are terrible.
people keep asking, how do you fix it? How do you fix the NBA? Number one, if you
Take a shot.
the rules are there for a reason. Okay? No one calls travel in the NBA.
Well,
Think about it.
loosen
Wait,
up the
just
travel.
listen.
It
Okay.
depends who does
Just
the
listen.
travel.
Just listen. The game was constructed to follow these sets of rules, right? To make it even offensively and defensively.
Okay.
If you completely ignore a set of rules, you make it impossible to guard someone, right? On a triple step back. The amount of space, this is real. On the, hold on. You said triple
James
step
Harden, I
back.
see you tonight, baby.
On the level of space that you can create on a triple step back, which is traveling.
Yeah, chill.
You can't defeat that. You can't guard that. Carry. If they call, you know how easy it is
I'll give you that.
to get by a defender if you can hold the ball suspended in the air and then continue. You can't guard that defensively. You can't guard
Why
that.
doesn't it equal out? Because everyone can do it.
So, but what I'm saying is,
Everyone don't have the ability to do
the reason it's broken is because
level.
it's everybody's doing it.
I disagree.
Everybody's doing it, right? So if you start really policing the game by the letter of the law, right, like it was, then you have to find different ways to score. Now you can't do a triple step back and get a wide open 25-footer, right? Because that's a travel, right? So now you have to evolve back into actual basketball. They're teaching. I got a 10-year-old. They're teaching these kids how to do that move at 10. You can't discontinue your dribble, take a step, another step, and then two more. Who is guarding that?
Okay, so
But I don't want to over officiate. I don't want to hit a whistle.
No, but you
Refs
got
aren't calling them evenly across the board. So it's always been like, the Jordan rules. The problem is, like what you just said, the calls aren't getting called the same for everybody. So a Harden can do a 3-step back and they don't call it. He might even get the and one on it.
Right.
Then you have other players who don't have the name that are doing the same thing and the ref is blowing the whistle.
Ah, great point.
So fans can see that.
Yeah.
Fans, you call it the NARPS. The fans is watching that.
Kawhi's a narc.
I just saw
Well, he's back.
But,
and he
but
balled.
also the fan is the one that's
San Diego
paying
State.
to go see it.
okay, but
So if you're paying to see that, and I just saw you didn't call it on him, but you call it on
Eugene, hold on. A moment of silence.
Eugene's
y'all.
talking.
Hold on.
Eugene's talking.
No, Eugene talking. Everyone, moment of silence. Okay. All right, let Eugene speak.
Way too technical. Refs and, the triple back move travels, right? As a narc, I'm thinking about the new generation. Think 10-year-olds, 20-year-olds.
Yeah.
They're not looking at what the refs are talking. You know what my kids care about when they're watching a basketball game? The commercial. Oh, it's commercial time. I want to watch a commercial. Too many timeouts, too many challenges, too many reviews. The game slowed down too much. And like for us, you're talking about us. Yeah, we might be used to it, but the new generation, they don't have the attention span for it. As soon as the commercial comes on or timeouts,
They go
they're
get
on
back
their
on the
phone.
phone.
They're on their iPad, right? They're not.
Wow, I
watching
have
the game.
never heard or thought about that.
And that's why you
Because
got
the attention span's so
That's why you
short.
got a narc.
one for the nerds.
Because he's not
that's
addressing
a
the
good
real problem. It's not the no travels being called. It's the last time I loved basketball, Linsanity. The whole city of New York was crazy.
I wonder why.
It was
You didn't go to Ivy League like this. I was an Ivy League at least. You racial.
You had a great point. Wait, take that one away. Back to you.
Back to even.
I ain't going anything else is that
Let me throw this out
Talking about LeBron, Steph. What happened to the women calling faces? No one's talking about.
I can't get over that. He said you ain't like the NFL since that win.
I'm on to you. Let me throw this out here. Let me throw this.
Okay.
Everything else is a symptom. The biggest problem with the NBA is analytics.
Give it to me.
Because analytics
The three-pointer.
tell them to shoot the three
more than take a layup.
way more than anything else.
What's
And-
wrong with that
and-
though? I
because-
love three-pointers.
because
Steph Curry's amazing.
But now
we're
when you
talking
go
about
0
what's
for
wrong.
12,
We're talking
Bro,
about what's
everybody ain't Steph Curry.
right?
It's analytics.
And that's the
there are-
problem.
And there's certain times where a team needs a basket
And they won't
to
shoot a
stay
layup.
in the
Oh,
game.
and they go in here.
And they're 8
hate
feet
that.
away, and they
35
turn back
footer.
around
And cannonball
throw
the ball
it
out.
24
I
feet
hate
out.
it. I do hate it.
And
to the guy who's shooting
You know, Boston
29%.
takes
29%. So it's the
60.
analytics that are killing it.
Yeah.
Boston
my
takes
opinion.
63 pointers.
Yeah, they're playing on the calculator right now
Yeah.
instead of with our eyeballs
It's
or
not
sensibilities.
fun.
Natural game.
Analytics aren't fun.
60.
But I will
60
admit, I did not like. Look, I was not a fan of basketball. I didn't pick Lakers or Clippers growing up. I was playing my own sports, preoccupied.
And
LA
you
all.
were typing.
No, and
LA
reading books.
And reading
the books.
Right.
I was reading the
Music
book.
and
Yeah.
musicals.
But for real, my dad was a Clipper fan. He went from Texas to San Diego. We Clippers in the household. But Lakers took over the whole town. So I'm like, damn, I ain't commit. I will say this.
When did you commit to the Clippers?
Right before, like Baron Davis, right after, between Baron Davis and Lob City. So right there, I was like, oh, they got something here, BD and all that. Here's the thing.
Not like BD.
I don't like old school basketball, and I didn't like it then. That's why I wasn't a fan. I didn't like dudes that I looked at and I said, I don't think he's that athletic. And then all he would do is muck it up. You know, Coach always told me, if we can't beat them up. You know why? Because you ain't as good as them. So old school basketball, and I ain't gonna say no names, you know, Lane Beard, I ain't gonna say names, Rabbits, all that. I'm not gonna say names. But people who were like more physical than they needed to be, but they had to.
They're enforcers.
Because that's the only way. But
They're
enforcer's a nice way of saying you can't move up and down this court with me. So
Beat
six
somebody
foul,
up.
six foul me out, right? And I'm looking at it like I'd rather you shoot 6 threes than your job is to get 6 fouls.
The thing-
and y'all like this era,
You know
But don't
Yes.
you know you have to have both to actually have a good team? That's the whole
That's
point.
right.
Like most of these guys, they're just some of the teams that are shooting 63s a game.
Yeah, bro, that's
the ones
crazy.
that aren't winning look horrible. The ones that are winning, okay, cool. But they got it from that stems from one of the a person who did it the best we've ever seen it in the history of the NBA.
Yeah.
We got it from Steph Curry, so now
Changed it.
everybody's not going to
Changed
be Steph Curry.
They are not.
No.
That's like everybody.
But James Harden's number 2. Why are we mad at him?
I'm not mad. I just
Okay.
don't want it's
Klay Thompson
it's bad
number
to
3.
watch.
Okay.
But if you had Michael Jordan, who was the best basketball hooper ever, right? Every player.
LeBron.
Okay, time out.
No, okay, we won't go there. We're not gonna go there right now. Not right now.
What you gonna do?
Temperature check. Temperature check.
Yeah, temperature check. Go get him.
So-
Smell the salt. Smell the salt. Look at that hip. You know you got that bad hip. You played in the NFL, you got a bad hip.
That's like for the next
Two of 'em,
15
two of 'em, two of
That's
'em.
like for the next 15 years, every player trying to dunk every time they score. It would get boring.
No, it wouldn't. Blake Griffin.
I agree.
Over
Did
time.
Blake Griffin get bored?
No.
When he could dunk?
I'm
Randall
saying,
King?
I'm saying literally every single time.
I'm listening.
Every single time. It would get boring because we see it all the time.
Three-point game's gotten stale. When Mike
It's
D'Antoni
gotten
introduced
stale.
it with the Suns, that was fun.
There you go.
Steve Nash and Joe Johnson. And
So it
Mark
comes down
Steiner.
to the coach. We need another coach that's going to do something different.
Keep going.
So
Keep
we can
arguing
go
this.
ahead and make sure that it's not just threes, it's not just bully ball, it's not just dunking.
have to play
Who's going to be the next?
basketball.
Well,
It's like, who
also,
goes-
wait, let me throw
One
this.
second. You can watch any given NBA game, and this is why it's unwatchable. In a 3-minute span, you can watch both teams only shoot threes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
true.
And this,
That's
and
and
this, all
miss
of
the
them.
majority of them.
And this,
That's
all of them.
unwatchable.
That's right.
That's unwatchable.
Everyone's waiting for that Trae Young.
And I'm talking
game
about
winner
fast
to have
break
work, right?
three-pointers.
Everyone's waiting for
Yeah.
that.
I hate
Nobody
fast break
even runs underneath the basket
Fast
on the
break
fast
three-pointers.
break.
And the dude who is under there,
Fast
they have thrown to him.
They're not throwing it to
He's
him.
by himself.
That's why it's
Fast
unwatchable.
break three-pointers
Because
are
it
the
doesn't make sense. No one's gonna sit there and be like, damn, why would they throwing the ball? He wide open. Like you can do a screen and roll, the big can be underneath the basket, waving their hands. They won't even throw it to him. So our minds as basketball fans and players are like, well, why would they throw him the ball?
That's right.
Yeah.
Right? So you're going against the natural order of the actual game. Give and go, pick and roll is basketball.
You got a good ball, though.
You
Natural order.
That's what I
Natural
said.
order. They used to dribble like this.
Now
They used to dribble like
pick and
this.
pop.
Order.
Now it's pick and pop. I get it. But if you don't even pop, I get it. But if you don't even, they don't even. First of all, they switch every screen, and they're not even setting screens. Have you? When's the last time you saw somebody set a real screen in the NBA game?
That goes back to the refs.
And
They
they
got
called it.
But they're not even.
You can't set a good
They
screen.
go call it.
Look. If you're guarding Eugene, and I run up to screen you, before I even get to you, you look and you switch before there's even contact. That's crazy.
That's part of the game.
That's schematic.
Yeah, but you're creating a mismatch when you don't even have to because no one is making you. The reason you would switch on the screen is because now as a defender, I can't get there. You can easily just go around. They don't even do it anymore.
IQ is not.
They don't even do it anymore.
And even on that, and even what you're saying, even with the switch, nobody's cutting to the basket.
They just all standing out there.
They run a screen to get outside.
What
To
you
the other
doing?
side of the three-point.
Okay, so in summation, it sounds like we got to button this up. We got some good topics coming up as well. No, I know you. What? No, but seriously, we got to speed the game.
Is that true?
So I can shut up. We got to button this up.
Got a whole glue stick.
All right, finish. I'm going against my natural order. I'm scared.
One thing to think about. The NBA. The NBA made the same mistake the NFL made. Okay? The NFL legislated running backs out of the game.
Yeah.
Turns out you need running backs. The NBA legislated big men out of the game. Turns out you need big men.
Yep.
Right? The teams that are good have good big men. And now there's a dearth of them because there's not a dearth of them.
Well,
There's a
Golden
lack
State went
of
on a
them.
run without a good big man, did they?
Yeah.
I mean, without the big man.
Because
Draymond and this lineup.
That was
the best shooter ever in the history
well,
of
two best
You're
shooters.
making
right?
both points.
Two best shooters.
It's
So
only
now
balls.
you
Those are
need
the outliers.
balls,
You
though.
can't construct the league based on the outlier.
That's right. You
That's
need
Because everybody don't have
balls.
Steph Curry.
But that's how they do.
But that's
That's
four
what the
chips.
NBA does.
That's
Yeah,
four
they did
chips.
it. They did it
LeBron,
with
who's the big
Jets.
man? Okay, or that's 5 chips. Toronto, who's the big man?
Well, you had AD.
That's 6 chips.
AD is a big
I
man.
mean,
He's 7 feet
no,
tall.
but everyone says he's fragile. So how big? What's his presence when he's
Every
in?
four is not 5.
Yeah, he's a 4. Yeah, so I don't know. That's 6, 7 chips.
The best player in the NBA right now is the big man. That has
That's
been
real.
for the last 5
And
years.
have
Campo?
they need big men.
Jokic. Give him that. Give him that. Or let's leave on that.
But he
point.
doesn't play as a
Speed up the game.
Yeah, he does.
And stop
Yeah,
shooting.
he does.
And add big men.
I'm gonna be honest.
Add big men, speed up the game, stop shooting so many damn threes.
That wasn't that bad, was it?
So many bad calls.
And stop calling so many bad calls. So basically, they ain't gonna fix it because it's too
No,
much to
it's
fix.
broke.
Right? All right.
No time soon.
We got to switch back to
Let's
college
switch.
football.
Let's
We got
switch.
college football
Let's
right
switch.
here. A lot of people, and if I'm looking around here with the lens of like my man Eugene, it's a racial lens, you know. We're looking at race. Who would have thought the only dude who ain't black is the racist in this? Nah, I'm playing.
That's what we've been
That's
trying to
my
tell
guy.
you, man. It ain't us.
I tried to tell him that. It ain't us.
It ain't us.
But this week, historical, monumental, it reaches people differently. Notre Dame's in the college football championship against Ohio State.
Yeah,
A lot of focus is on the coach. First black coach ever.
Hey, half Korean.
He is.
Marcus Freeman's half Korean.
Dude, I was about to say, what's the and? Because I see it in him too. And then I saw his wife, I was like, yeah, it's okay. Look, if I were black and white, I'm black and white. But I take the heat. But here's the thing, people don't want to take the heat, I get it. But they're putting it out there. And I want to hear from everybody here. How are they taking it? When that headline comes, and they even asked him after the win last weekend, hey, how does it feel to be that person? And he says, no, it's not about me. That's great, but it's about us. But when they're making a big deal out of that part, which is still astonishing, like nobody ever.
How is that even possible in 2025?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Now, that's going to shift now because there is a 12-team playoff. There is more teams with African, like the Penn State and Notre Dame.
I'm gonna be an ass right now.
Either-
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The only time we get a brother in the championship game is when they let 12 of them in.
Facts.
Isn't that wild?
Well, yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Well,
like
that's
we couldn't do it with the 4. Like when it was just the 4 and the 2.
No.
But
it
when
was
they
a
let
big-
12, they let all y'all play in the
But
playoffs.
it's a dictatorship. But now you actually, like Penn State,
Good point.
Penn State.
Penn State gets an opportunity, but Ohio State played all 12 teams. But you guys got to go look back and see who they played during the season. They played everybody twice. Everybody that was in the playoffs.
This math ain't mathing, but we
No, I'm talking about everybody that was in the playoffs. No, I'm saying they played the teams that they're playing.
They played Gotcha.
Yes.
Those three. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm saying they played all 12 teams. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're proven, they're tested.
Hold on. Temperature check.
Water. All water.
Hey,
And
that's
messing
still,
with it.
you mean 11?
They about to play.
They played. What do you mean?
No. They
Every
get
team
there.
in the playoffs.
No, I'm talking about
they played.
I'm
In the
talking about to
Final
get there.
Four.
Final Four. yeah.
Final Four.
That's what I'm
Okay,
trying to
there
say.
you go. That
Okay,
makes
there you
sense.
go, there
That
you
makes
go.
sense.
I was ready for it.
They played the three teams that made the other three teams that made the Final Four.
Everybody that played in the playoffs.
No, don't say that. 'Cause you
And
said-
there's 11 teams that they played to
they
get.
didn't play Boise and Arizona State.
Boy.
So that's what we're saying. You didn't drunk.
Hey, I don't drink like that.
So you
Anyway,
Please leave that point alone. Like your teacher, like an SAT, she was like, skip that question.
hey,
The teacher would be like, okay, who's next?
Yeah, who's next?
Thank you.
Oh, we get it.
but
We get it.
being able to play at that level, right, and to compete,
Yeah.
now everybody gets a shot. It's an open market.
Okay, that's real. So
That's
the
what I'm
democracy
saying.
of it all,
It's an
opening
open
up for him.
market.
to
It's
get
not.
opportunity.
It's not
That's
a brotherhood
Tremendous.
of 5 dudes in the media room saying we're gonna make him number one. We're gonna make him number one, and that's the national
That
champion.
is an amazing point.
You see what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
now you actually get a chance to go out there on that gridiron and prove that you deserve to be there.
Yeah.
Damn,
We
I'm
gonna-
gonna
we
take
gonna-
this
we
up or
gonna,
down. That's a
we
great
gonna,
point. Seriously.
We're gonna edit that other stuff out.
Will we not?
Hey, he loved making fun of me when I do mess up.
No, that's the best part of this show, man. When James be going on one, you be like, oh,
So, so but my deal, can you imagine? Now it's real.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the NIL is that the highest paid team, but right now, to have Ohio State, NIL, Golden Goose, and
Versus
Notre
Notre Dame,
Dame,
who didn't
Golden
do the
Goose,
NIL.
you know what I'm saying?
Roll like
Yeah.
Ohio State
That is the golden child where you got
did.
the
It's
whole
David-
community.
David versus Goliath.
You know-
in the
exactly.
NIL
Now
space.
tell me if this lands better for you. The reality of soon as you win a bigger game like that to get into the national championship, Notre Dame, they hit you with, how does it feel to be the first black person versus could you imagine a day where they don't even bring that up? Like which day is better?
Well, you
in
gotta
terms
have
of
the
that?
first to get to the second part. of it.
But do you want to be recognized as the first?
But you
Tony
have,
Dungy,
it comes
I would say
I'm asking the yes, because me, for
Yeah,
me
I would.
personally,
I would.
I'm not tripping. Because I don't need.
You have to. You gotta have it first before you have anything
I
else.
want to
So-
talk about how good
But
I am.
have I ever heard you're the first white person that, like,
No.
I don't hear that.
You're the
So
first
if
black guy
people,
from the
because we
country.
don't know the first white person that did anything.
You're the
That was
first
like
black
DC.
guy. Look,
I think the only person that want to be the first is the to get off the boat.
He's stupid. I am not. That's BC. Not to level it, because we know we got different starting points, especially in this country.
Yeah.
But it does hit. It hits me every time they say the first black, and I'm like, y'all ain't doing this for everybody else, are y'all? And if you are, do they even want that? Because the goal for your kids is like, it's just another thing to do, Daddy.
Well, you gotta have it first before you can get to that.
But do you have to acknowledge the first, like that's bigger than just the fact that y'all did it?
Who did
versus
Gene acknowledge?
Right, I was just about to say that.
Who did Gene acknowledge?
That don't mean it's right. We all laugh.
Right,
But yeah.
But it's important, man.
Yeah, it
Listen,
makes it
I'm the second oldest on the panel, James.
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh, he got to go to the bathroom. He go to the
Right.
Bladder, boy.
Right.
You know that?
When you go to the bathroom, nobody say that.
Because I ain't 6.
It's important because when I was a young man, a young boy, they were saying
30s.
black people weren't smart enough to play quarterback
Yep.
and weren't smart enough to coach.
Facts.
So for
They,
me,
but who was they? Your mama and daddy didn't tell you that because that's why you smart.
exactly.
Okay, so
exactly.
The
but
media painted
so-
the picture.
The media
So your
did.
biggest moment is to throw a middle finger to the media versus props to your mama and daddy? Like I almost feel
No,
like,
it's not
Where's
the
it
biggest
coming from?
moment.
We wanna know
It's-
where it's coming from.
Like it's something that affects you as a kid.
who?
It does. It does.
It
I'm thinking about
does.
Heinz
It does.
Ward. Heinz Ward, right? He was probably the first with any Asian in a NFL football player. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what made him
First, and
popular.
a big deal.
Yeah, that's what
for
made
the
him
Asian
popular.
community for Heinz Ward.
But was it a big deal to Heinz Ward?
Oh,
No.
he
Well, no. There's a way to pander. There's a way to ride the wave and say, oh yeah, let me do this. But let me give it to you like this. I know everyone talks about representation, and I respect it, but I didn't need it. He made a joke. You're the first dude from Compton to go to Columbia. I don't think that's true, but I never saw somebody do it. But it never mattered. I never woke up one day saying,
for other kids that are in Compton, they can see.
But you become that. Whether you want
no
that
one
or
was
not.
that for me. And I'm not trying to say that to pat myself on the back. I'm trying to say it so why do you
You're
need?
the outlier.
No, because there are pioneers in this world, right? And if you really want to be a pioneer, there ain't nobody who did it first.
Is a pioneer an outlier?
Yes.
Yes.
Let me tell you this.
True.
So the biggest thing when we're talking about representation, whether you liked him, agreed with him, voted for him, the biggest thing President Obama did when he was elected to president was he made that a reality.
The image.
Because growing up, if you're a third grader and your teacher says, what do you want to be? If you're a little black boy or a girl and you're a third
cannot say
grader,
president.
and you say, I want to be the president of the United States,
Got an F.
no one believes you. There was no role.
Get out! Get out
There
of
was
class!
no role.
First of all, that's a damn lie. I know somebody said it, and I know they didn't get sent to the principal's
No,
office.
but what it
It's
was,
like,
it wasn't taken
Who cares what? No one believed I was gonna go pro.
So
You're gonna go pro.
I got
It ain't about belief.
I'm gonna give you an example.
I don't need you to believe in me so I can go get
Not
it.
out of Jordan High School. They didn't think I was.
Yeah, nobody gonna
Let me
believe.
say
Don't
this
change
real
the belief
quick. I still don't
argument.
believe you want to.
Yeah, but there are black
That's
people.
Hold on. So you from Compton to Columbia.
Actually, I made plays in them.
Okay.
He said you were the first person from Compton to go to Columbia. You say, yeah, that's great, but I didn't need that. It's equivalent to something when you go to a gym. There's some people who need a personal trainer, and there's some people who have
No.
Everybody's not you.
Oh, great point.
Just
Everybody's
because
not you.
you didn't need that,
everybody
wait,
didn't
just
grow up
because
like
you didn't need that,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that's not helping somebody else who does need that.
No, and I love that point.
Millions of people need
But
that.
what I'm trying to say is, in that moment, can you at least give me the election, the chance to say, don't take this moment there,
Right.
take this moment where it is.
Talk about me.
But
Me,
but it's
but
up to
we-
you to say that.
But yeah, so and I think they put these people in impossible positions because the first thing they do is throw the mic in your face. And there's nothing wrong with this because I know it's going to inspire many. But those who are going to get inspired, I want to tell them, one, you shouldn't even be looking up at the people with this false idol. Like, if they can do it, I can do it. Your power's within. Your power's not out.
Internal. not
Everybody in our locker room got doubted. And then all of a sudden everybody looking up to us. I'm like, dog, we full of doubts. Like, so if you want to make it, the first thing that lets you know you getting there is people doubting you. Like, instead of this whole, like, so the point is this is, yeah, the point of it wasn't to go there. It's really to say,
It's a good conversation, though.
yeah.
I think it's an important conversation.
And you think for our kids, as successful as their daddy is, biggest accolade, he blocked the hell out of me, made me retire. But in all seriousness, you are EPHRAIM SALAAM, and now you want your kids to continue to need another black person.
That's what we're doing.
But
Everything.
but
Hold on, Hatch. Everything I'm doing in life, all the impossible things. There was no blueprint for this.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, we're a first. This generation right now is in many aspects the first to do something.
That's right.
Yeah.
To change the social economic background of your entire family.
Yes.
Right?
True.
Before it was a hope and a dream and a wish.
Yeah.
Right? Get your education because this may happen.
Yes.
My kids know I played in the NFL,
Yeah.
which is an impossible thing to do.
Yep.
They know I've made movies, which is an impossible thing to do. They know I've written on television shows, which is an impossible thing to do. My job as a parent is to make the impossible normal.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing.
Now, I love
It's
that.
just normal.
Is it normalized when you make a big parade that you did the impossible and you're the guy?
If it's normal,
if it's
you don't
normal,
make a
you
big
ain't
deal
talking
about
about
it.
it.
But you don't-
That kind of
That's
defeats
all
the
we
whole point of it
we
being.
don't make it, and that's the same deal. Like you say, watch the Westwood to the White House is my story, you know, and to be able to have my kids grow up. You know, I was the first, I'm the only child to graduate from college, graduate from UCLA before I went to the pros. But all four of my children, they have their master's degree.
It's the standard now.
You see what I'm saying? And when they got to the point in high school, they knew they were going to college.
Period.
You know, I was like, I remember talking to my grandmother, and she was like, so How much do we got to pay them to go to college? We can't pay for them. I said, no, Grandma, they going to let me go for free.
Golly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it was like, I said, I get to pick any school in the country to go to.
But what Marcellus is saying though, so what if somebody stuck a camera in their face and say, how do you feel that you're now going to go to college on a free scholarship? Like, they'd be like, what? This is what we're going to do.
That's what we do.
That's what he's saying. He's
Yeah.
like, this is what we do. Why do I have to talk about that with you? So it goes back to the person who was doing the actual interview, not the person getting interviewed. Like,
Yeah.
was it a white person or a black person?
It was
I
a
don't
white
know.
woman. I forget her name, but she big time.
But also,
So
it doesn't stop until it becomes the norm. And like we said from both of y'all from the get-go, it doesn't become the norm until that first person does it. The first person has to do it,
Yeah.
and all that follow, the more that follow, the less it gets
Yeah,
brought
no
up.
one's gonna
Because,
ask how do you love you
do
with
it.
second white coach, man.
Nobody says that.
He's got to
Right.
break
Right.
through that
Second.
ceiling
Hey,
first.
Let's do this right now.
Damn, I wish they had
What-
media back in them
what-
1800s. You're the first white person to ever.
Watch this. What you're doing right now, being able to put everybody on this platform and call your friends and say, hey, let's do this
For the
and let's
first time.
figure it out
Later.
That would never happen back in the day.
Oh, we couldn't do this in my house. I
Right.
grew up in.
Well, they did other versions.
No, but I'm not even saying even that where you got intelligent brothers that says, guess what? We gonna rock with you. Where this goes,
Nobody
nobody
knows.
knows. But guess what? We gonna. What time you need me to show up?
Right. And the parade's not going to happen until later, Marcellus.
Of course.
Exactly.
And I experienced
That's
this just personally. My father was one of the first black judges in Chicago. His father hoboed on a freight train from Mississippi to Chicago, right? So what I found out after my father passed was his impact on people, right? And they were saying, and without exception, from the head of the Supreme Court in Chicago to the head judge to the lawyers, they said, he showed me that I could make it. He showed us the importance of it. He showed us that we could do it like other people were doing it. So the parade didn't happen when he was alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? He almost was, but in hindsight, people look back and said, hey, this man did X, Y, and Z, and he is a big reason I did it. Right? And,
So
it's precedent. It's precedent.
Okay, this is my only challenge, and I don't want to steal from what you're saying, because everything you're saying I understand, I've seen, I recognize, and respect. But if you grab that whole pool of people that was inspired by him, if there was no your dad, would they have still been? Something. Or it is the conversation. And your dad had nobody else to look at, and he still became it. So my thing
Because
is,
my dad was
why
like
we not
you.
putting more energy into the it's instead of like, oh well, wait for that pioneer, wait for your dad. Because I think right now we're telling all these kids representation means kind of not relax or wait and see. It comes across to me as that.
Well, that's if you take it like that.
Okay, and I'm probably taking it
So
wrong.
you're taking it like that because you've always been a free thinker. You've always, by the way you've been raised, you've
Out of the
always
box.
been an out of the box thinker.
Okay.
Right? And you're plastering that all over millions of people. Like, just be like me.
But
Just
you're-
think
but you're-
like I'm thinking.
But you're a 1%er. So
Right?
99%
And that's
don't
the
think
difference.
like
Less than
I
that,
hear
man.
that.
That's the difference.
Yeah,
And you have to be open to accept that and not be like, well, you don't need that, just do this. You have to be open to seeing that, look, man, whatever situations people are in, right?
Yeah.
We all need something. And if it's looking at a judge that looks like you and you saying, damn, I want to be a judge now.
Yeah.
Or looking at the only and first African American, only president that wasn't white
Yeah.
and saying, damn, I think I can do that. I can be the president. If it takes that, then it's like, yeah, it to be applauded and celebrated because now it's like playing a video game. I'm a gamer. You've unlocked another level.
No, that's amazing.
You've unlocked another level to
great.
life.
That's
That's the way it hits home. You know what's so funny? And I always say like you can impress people by our accolades, and everyone's here we're accomplished. But you can impact them with your scars. The craziest thing about what you just said was I remember being in my godmother's office. She's the associate athletic director at Columbia, just basically adopted me, right? She was like, you're a great kid, you're just dusty. You just don't see the world properly, etc. You coming from LA, Compton, I get it. We're gonna get you right. Cause I'm in Ivy League. I mean, culture shock. Like, I'm like, what the hell? I'm playing my music normal and they said it's loud. It wasn't the music volume. They didn't like what I was playing. So I was going through that social shock. And she told me exactly what she said. She said, Marcellus, one thing about you, you always think and expect everyone to think like you. And boy, I'm 30, 40 years removed from that moment, and you went right back to that place, which is therapeutic for me. To take it and expound it in college football, there's something that can happen that will affect all of us, because I think we all want to have this type of impact, inspiration. Deion Sanders has now suggested, put out fillers, that I can leave Colorado for the right opportunity to coach both my sons. Sons, right, plural, both. And we're talking about impact, inspiration. Nothing better than saying, yo, this ain't Pop Warner. I'm coaching my sons in the league and having that type of impact.
What they gonna say?
What they gonna say?
You the first black coach to coach both of your sons in the league. So again, they gonna acknowledge the first.
All right.
And you gotta give them that.
Okay, that's sick.
That's a feat.
Has anybody, white, anything ever coached their sons in the league? I have not.
As a head coach?
One son.
As a head coach to coach your son?
Quarterback.
Who?
Quarterback.
Who?
This quarterback. It'll come to me.
What team? You remember?
He wasn't like a super
All right,
smart
ChatGPT
quarterback.
works.
Deion said he want to do it if it's both of them.
Yeah. So he just trying to usher Shiloh in the
Well,
buddy pass.
he just put
Shiloh getting that buddy pass.
Right, yeah.
You can't get the buddy back.
Yeah.
Ain't bad.
Like Giannis'
But
brother.
if you are in that
Right.
situation as a parent,
You're gonna do that.
if I had an opportunity,
it's LeBron doing the same.
You're
thing.
supposed to.
you're supposed
You're
to.
supposed to.
Look,
Because look at some of the coaches. Okay, let's just go look.
Just first father son.
Just first father, right?
Father
So
son.
that's the dynamic even with Deion. It's just first father son.
Yeah,
Nothing but grace.
So can you imagine, and we look at it and we say, it doesn't have to be black, white, yellow, it don't matter. The fact is that he can be a coach that has done it at the superstar level. Go all the way back down to Pop Warner. So Deion has put in his work. He didn't jump
just-
over.
right,
he didn't
good
jump
point.
over and go to the
Good
pros.
point.
He didn't jump
From
over.
there-
He started at Pop Warner in Texas
Yeah,
at all levels.
that's real.
And he was proven. And guess what? He saved some more on the way.
Yep.
He
Saved
said,
a
guess what?
lot.
You better get on this caboose.
Saved a lot.
Travel. And that's the only reason I would not want him to go to the pros. If I see you did,
He needs
I'm not
more in
saying,
college.
I'm saying you are impacting more lives
In college than
in college than you would in the pros, but I understand,
As
knowing
a
you
father,
personally,
yeah.
that you are about your children. You've always been their father, even when people want to talk about dads and pops and this and this. I've always admired you because you've always been the father in any relationship throughout your entire journey. So if you want to do it that way, bro, you done made enough plays at every level. Partner, do it your way because that's what makes you happy and that's what makes your kids happy.
Is Deion here?
Hey, Deion right now, he's like,
What's your handle?
hey, James, we ain't hiring, dog. I'm bringing my staff with me, James. Stop playing. He like this ninja. He like this. Oh, hold on. Fun fact, Jim Mora Sr. and Jim Mora Jr., and he was a D-back. I never knew that. That was the only one I was able to pull up.
Did anybody not think of Deion first when you heard Mike McCarthy was fired?
Of course.
That's
of course.
But they have that. They can't get
It's not- he can't get the
He can't get
quarterback.
Shador.
Only way he would want to go to the pros.
As if he could take Shador.
But that's too far down.
No.
No, he could get Shador and then 2 years
No.
of sitting with Dak and then Dak gone
Thank
because the
you.
dead cap
Thank
is low
you.
enough.
Thank you.
Like Dak's dead cap is still too crazy right now.
Shador's gonna listen to that and he says, come in here and sit the bench.
Sit.
Anywhere else, he's not gonna listen to that. But if his dad's saying, look, just sit behind Dak.
What Dallas can't get
What
him.
pick does Dallas?
Yeah, I'm about to say Dallas. They gotta be mid.
They gotta trade
Yeah, they
up.
got to give up Dak and a first round pick.
For sure.
And Dak
I do it.
and Dak has to sign off on it.
doing that?
That's what they got to do.
Who doing that?
If Deion comes with as a coach,
They got to give up Dak and Dak got to sign off on it. He has to sign off on it.
Dak got no trade.
He has no trade
There's
clause.
no rookie quarterback to come in and play as good as Dak Prescott. Come on.
I agree.
Whoa, Jaden Daniels.
It's
Not as good as Dak Prescott at today.
it's a
You're still
rebuild.
Jaden Daniels just played yesterday.
Jay Daniels on his way, right? But if you
It's a
take
rebuild.
career numbers,
It's
I'm
a
looking at
rebuild, though.
1
you're
year.
talking about a 7-8 year NFL
It's
veteran.
a rebuild.
But where you go?
Oh yes, you gotta be on rebuild.
That's what it is. Like that, even that coming back next year
Is a rebuild?
is still rebuilding.
Not to them.
How?
They think they go into the championship.
Well, that's
Did you
the
just hear Mike
delusion.
Parsons?
That-
Hey, we going to the Super Bowl.
That's the
next year.
delusion.
You can be good.
Hey, everybody
but
get
if your
tickets.
trajectory is like this the whole way. At some point, you gotta switch it
So,
up. Even if you good.
show of hands, we got one person that would give up Dak to get Deion, Shador, and
You ain't giving up
Shador. Anybody else giving that up?
You've already seen what you can get.
I'll give it
No,
up.
you haven't.
No.
He's still,
Deion,
Dak Prescott got 10 more
Shador,
years in the NFL.
and
and that
How long has
brand,
he been in Dallas?
Why else?
at the Dallas Cowboys brand.
Yeah, that would be
What?
insanity.
Are you
How
kidding me?
hard is it
That's
to
a
win the
businessman.
Super Bowl?
That'll be another
Jones is a
20.
businessman.
So he gonna
Hey,
get there.
that'll be another billion.
That's good business. That's good business.
So what about
Trust me,
Vegas?
I don't like the Cowboys.
Vegas seems like it's
They
more
need a
attainable.
quarterback. They need a
They
quarterback.
need a quarterback. They're higher up in the draft. They're, I think 7.
Oh, you gotta give up Max Crosby and the
No,
first
Max
round.
ain't going.
Max
They
ain't
ain't
going.
I'm just letting you know.
do that.
You got
They ain't giving
if
up
you
Max.
want to move up.
Yeah, you got
If
to
you
give
want to
up.
move up, you got what?
Good
What we
point.
doing?
Good
They ain't
point.
giving up Max.
Good
You
point.
got. They have no other asset to give up.
You can go get some guys who are a second, third year quarterback guy, and then go trade that guy for, like trade them to the Giants who need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? You can go ahead
You
and
can
play
play a
that.
3-team trade.
Yeah, you can play that game.
You gotta play
That's
that game.
difficult in the NFL. Like there's very few
It ain't
3-team
NBA.
trades.
Yeah, it ain't
in
NBA.
the NFL. NBA, you can do a
Yeah, you got-
9-team
yeah,
trade.
yeah.
And you take dead money from him, and then
Yeah.
he playing over there, and then.
Yeah.
But in the NFL, like
It's tougher.
it's literally like you want the first pick. This is what we want. You don't answer it, you go to the next team who wants the first pick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
What's
what-
it-
so you can say, I want Max Crosby. I want your first this year and next year.
Different game, different animal. I need a show of hands. Who's on social media right here? As figured, OG right here, like, nah, son. Who's of those on social media, let's say active? Like, oh, I'm reading the comments, I'm reading my mentions, I'm posting out. No? Okay.
I'm not as active as I probably should
Okay,
be. I
good.
ain't got no time.
We're going to have a fun conversation right here. And we're going to talk about Antonio Brown, excuse me. I play with both. Antonio Brown and Emmanuel Acho, who I work with.
Yeah.
Emmanuel Acho has blocked Antonio Brown on Twitter.
That's a conversation.
Listen to this. It's a conversation because Acho says he blocked him because he was protecting his peace. People fought back at Acho saying, yeah, but you troll Justin Herbert and others all the time. Now you getting trolled, now you blocking.
If you're in the game, you win the game.
Right. Don't call for attention and hang up, right? You asking for it, this is how we fighting. So I just want to see from all of us, how would you handle that situation? Somebody trolling you, but you do trolling. Are you a blocker? Are you someone that mutes? You someone who doesn't care? Where you go with social media?
The thing with social media is each individual person has the ability to look at it or not.
Facts.
That's it. The fact that we have free will to do something, to even look at it or read it, and you feel like you have to block someone because you don't like what they're saying. that to me, that's
Soft, with no
crazy.
teeth.
The
That
fact
is-
that you cannot
That is-
look at it.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to respond
How you
to
do it on your phone? How you do it?
and you feel like you're disturbing my peace. To me, that in itself is the problem.
Yeah, I can't.
Why, he's not at your house
Thank you.
knocking at the door at your job. He's on a screen that you can control. You don't even have to, you can just
Laugh it
go right
off.
by it.
Laugh it off.
So the fact that people are allowing people to affect them in that way, in that manner, to where it's disrupting their livelihood. Hey man,
So what is that? What is that? So what category do you put Acho in for doing that?
I got a question.
It's just corny to me, man. It's just corny.
It's corny.
I have a word, but I can't.
Grow up.
It's unnecessary. It's telling.
Was it AB disturbing his peace, or was it his own guilt that was disturbing his peace?
Ooh.
Because if you ain't do nothing and you're not worried about something, if somebody says it, you just brush it off.
Yeah.
When they say something and it strikes that chord,
Hit dogs holler.
it's
Yeah, I tell people that all the time because one, I love comments. I don't really push a lot of content out as much as I should, but I try, and the team tries. But when it comes back, oh, I'm for it. I'm for offense and defense, like you know. And I like because I learn from the crowd. No matter who you are and what you say, they will add a layer to what you said. You're like, damn, I didn't think about that. But to find that layer, you're gonna have to go through the weeds, right?
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, Wiley, you suck. Wiley, you ain't this. And I'm like, hey, move. Where that? Where's the wisdom? Where's that pearl? And when I saw that, and I know obviously both parties involved, the thing is that's crazy about social media is you have the power to activate the account, you have the power to scroll past everything, and you allow that to pierce your peace, your mental health. Like it's so weak. And look, I've had this conversation with my wife. She was on the Housewives show. I was like, baby, the hardest part about y'all show is listening to the fans' response and y'all not taking it the right way. One, all them people are saying it with a lace of envy. Like, I wish I was on that show, but since I ain't, let me kill you or let me pump you up. Why? I will be on that show just, what are y'all talking about? It's me. And I don't understand the person who takes criticism so harshly that they don't want to hear it, they want to avoid it, and more importantly, they want to say it's hazardous to their health. It's just criticism.
It's horrible. I don't do social media like that. I never looked at a comment in my life. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
If you're looking at your stuff,
That means you have no feelings, though. I mean, I can understand.
No, let me rephrase that.
Yes.
My feelings are probably too far up there. If I did look at it, I would react. So I don't even look at it.
Oh, you know yourself.
I know myself. I would get hot, or I might get mad. I might get sad. I don't know.
Imagine.
But
I'm working with Emmanuel.
I don't look at it. I'm like, I'm not. I just don't think that stuff's important.
And let's talk about this. Aren't you looking at your comments because you want to feel good?
Oh yeah.
So it's the ego at play, right? So his ego got struck. If you're looking through all your comments, you're not looking there typically to learn. You're looking for the praise.
They should learn.
I like to learn. I get it. I like to learn, the praise, and then the disses. I'm like, how good a diss is this?
So I come on here. I mess up, like I told you. I'm gonna screw up some vowels, kill some adjectives, and whatever I do.
And some numbers we learned today.
But guess what? In laughter, I could be like, don't call me no more. But the fact is, it's fun when you can do that and make fun of yourself. If you can't make fun of yourself, bro, you have a problem.
That's a tough life.
If you can't make fun of yourself,
if you can't laugh at yourself, self-deprecation, if you can't put it out and then take it when it comes, this is why. All right, so y'all know I do another show, Hydration Situation. People always like, dog, why you reacting to them cats all the time? And I said, I'm gonna cover sports, but I'm gonna cover those who cover sports, because I know their egos can't handle it. Part one. We sit up there in that studio with our suits on talking bad about athletes and sports like we almighty. And I used to say it on air. I was like, dog, he better than you. Right. Or you need to chill and show some level of respect while you criticize. And they ain't get the image. They ain't get the conversation. So now I'm lighting everybody up for what they saying, because what they saying to me is out of bounds. Now, if it's out of pocket and you disagree, respond to me. If you don't, move on. But the point is, I'm not taking this light off of you, because you got that same light on these players. And athletes every day killing them. And now we can see when the rabbit got the gun, it ain't no fun. And that's what happened with the Acho situation. All right, let's take a tone shift right now. Anybody in here know who Fred Kerley is? Just first of all, just go there.
Basketball?
Yeah.
Basketball Fred Kerley?
Let them know who Fred Kerley is. I hope he didn't do that fake yet. Everybody is cousin. You know, he's the first black person in Chicago. some stuff they be doing on the air. Captain like, yeah, I know. And you be like, who is it? You be like, I don't know. All right, Fred Kerley won second place in the 100 meters, Tokyo, third place. He's 100 meters.
Marcellus, my daughter is a.
Oh yeah, she track.
Is a Division I track.
Oh, he don't
I
track.
know exactly who Fred Kerley
Used to run the 400, now you run the 100, 200 beast.
And he got hemmed up in Florida.
Yeah, y'all see this altercation video in Florida. Other issue with his car, police call, turns into police escalation, quote unquote police brutality. Then he gets hemmed up, choked up, like it goes there.
Yeah.
On video, on police cam, you can see there, etc. His girlfriend or some lady screaming every second, stop, stop, stop. Not to get into the details of the escalation, who's at fault, because that's a different conversation. This conversation is, I'm looking around this room, and supposedly all of us are supposed to have that talk with our kids and the police, and how you deal with the police in encounters. Some say comply, raise my hand high. My daddy say 10 and 2, and speak to him like you know who he is, respectfully, officer. Or there's some that say, hey, I have my rights, and in this moment, this may turn into a courtroom. I'm gonna tell you my rights.
Or a funeral.
Or a funeral. Let you start it off, big dog. The conversation you're gonna have with your kids, the conversation you had with your father, etc.
So look, I grew up in, Inglewood in the 80s, right? It was not only Bloods and the Crips, but it was also the LAPD, right? Like, so it was, when you call for help, you may not get the help. Right?
You might get the hurt.
You may walk into a bigger situation. It's real.
Yeah.
And so, my parents who were born in the 40s in the South, they know a thing or two about police brutality and the dogs and the water hoses. They were part of the civil rights movement and all that. So we were always educated on that. And the crazy, not too long ago, I have a beautiful 13-year-old son, a 10-year-old son. And we live in an affluent neighborhood, and they didn't grow up like we grew up. And so he was out riding his bike, and so I go out to check on him, and I see his bike just on the side of the road. So I'm walking down the street, and I see him coming from someone's house, our neighbor's house. I'm like, hey man, what you doing? He was like, I was just looking in the window seeing if I said, whoa.
Sounds crazy.
You better not.
I be on it all day.
You better not.
I said, what? He said, I was just looking in the window to see if so-and-so was there. Normally they're sitting at the table and they can see me through the window, and then they come out and play. Man. I said, hey man, let me have a conversation with you. Yeah. And this is right after the Tariq Hill thing happened. Right? And so I said, look man, you're a beautiful soul. You didn't mean anything by it. But you're a black boy in this neighborhood, in this world, in this country. Others may not see it as innocent as you. Matter of fact, they won't. And he was like, but why is it like that? I said, look, baby, the system is broken when it comes to fairness, equality. All right? So you can't go looking in someone's window. They know you. We've been living in this neighborhood for over 10 years. But if someone doesn't know you and they call and say, hey, because he tall.
Oh yeah.
He's a giant, 13-year-old. There's a black guy staring in my neighbor's window.
Break in the house.
Or we have the security. We have the patrol security. And if they don't know him,
They don't know he's
and they pull up and they see him looking into the house, that turns into a whole nother thing. And so having these conversations with him, we had it a lot during 2020 with George Floyd. They were younger then, but both of my kids, you had to sit down and you really had to talk to them about this, because to them, in their minds, they're like, well, why is it like that? That's crazy.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to put some spice in this pot and stir the pot and let us all eat some of this gumbo, because I know that story. I grew up in LA, 70s, 80s, and all that. I also know the story of the time I had a backyard barbecue, and one of my friends tapped me on the shoulder and said, this is beautiful. And I was like, oh, what you talking about? Like, I know there's food, music, people, we chilling. I said, what you talking about? He said, look at all of these kids running around without a care in the world.
And it took me back to when I was growing up. There were those concerns. There were those rules. Which hat to wear, which side of the street, who to speak to, who not to look at, who you better run from, all of that. My son doesn't use any of his mental RAM up on all of that. None of that. That said, is there something to the conversation that if you are having this conversation with your kids, that it is a different world? And if your world is different, your kids' world is different. How come the rest of the world has stayed the same when this conversation occurs? Do you always have to tell the little black boy to look out for the police, look out for the neighbors? I don't agree with that.
It's one-sided.
And that's what I want to have this conversation.
It's one-sided. You don't agree with having that conversation because your environment has changed. Right. But the world hasn't. And that's the problem. If you don't have that conversation and they're not prepared for it, brother, that is detrimental to everybody.
Let me add one more layer and then you jump on this layer. Here's the springboard. Of all of the public incidents that I've seen, you tell me yours as well, everybody go in their mental reserves, it's in the 98, 99 percentile where I can point to the moment, like we watching film, and I'm like, man, come on, dog. Like, right there. Like, it's almost like you're a punk if you say, yes, sir, no, sir, sorry, sir, here you go. And it's like, we're veering off of that to get to some other place which lights this conversation and that moment up, and it becomes an incident. It gets ignited from something that is either non-compliant or something of that ilk. I'm saying in the conversation, can you just tell your son, look, the chances of you surviving this are very high if you comply.
And with every comply, there's an incident where that went well. There's an incident where somebody complied and then it didn't go well.
But that's the outliers, as you
Those
told me.
aren't the outliers. It's more of them than the other.
50-50, do not go there.
No, for real, seriously. It's staggering.
I personally,
I have never had a bad incident with the police ever. And
You're the outlier.
You're the outlier. Okay, so shouldn't I tell my son to be an outlier too? Oh no, tell me he gonna get roughed up. I can't control that. To my control of my attitude and response to the officer. How many times have you seen this? Officer pull you over, license registration. What I do? Okay, white or black or whatever. I know we're going. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Here's where it's going to go bad in reality. You don't have those type of conversations with your son, right? You're old, you're not around, might have passed away, but he's 40 and he moves down to Louisiana. He never had that conversation.
Why would he do that? No,
his job to write.
He live in LA. He's staying in LA.
That's his
job.
His job to him down.
Why are you hustling backwards?
Right? So his job to him down south. Now you have a grandson that doesn't know these rules that you would have told him. But
what
you never,
rules?
The rules on how to comply or not comply.
See, this is
what I'm saying.
The rules haven't changed, but you changed?
No, the rules haven't changed.
The rules haven't changed.
What are
The same things are still happening.
In what way?
If he was down south, that conversation's
and I can give you 1,000 examples of white people getting killed.
Yes.
But they don't count?
Do you know what has to happen for that to happen to them? They
Not-
gotta turn up.
They gotta shoot at the police to get shot back at.
You can be sick.
I give
How
you
many
some.
times have you seen a white dude curse out a policeman?
And nothing happens.
And nothing happens.
But see, all right, here we go. Media, narrative.
I've never seen
I'm going to give you this.
The media will not put out a story
Just listen.
where a black guy
Just listen.
emasculated
I'm not talking about
officer.
media. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm
Okay.
talking about us sitting here as black men.
Yeah.
All right?
And have you had bad incidents with
1,000%.
And
I've had good ones and I've had bad
I'm
ones.
going with you, but so I'm going to go back to your scenario though.
We just cut you off. I
Sorry.
I just want to say this.
Flex.
I just want to say this. The reality of it is, you're seen as a threat.
Oh,
If you're African American in this country, you're seen as a threat. Now, it may not be overwhelmingly everywhere you go, you're seen as a threat, right? If I step out of the car,
you 6. No,
Both
I know I'm seen as a
my
threat.
sons are going to be taller than me.
Oh, yeah, they are.
So if I'm not having this conversation, case in point, not even dealing with the police, I go hiking at Freeman, right? Right over by my house. I speak to everybody. Because if you see me running down the hill and you're two white women having a conversation walking up the hill, I can see it on their face. They're contemplating. We're all out there working out together. This happens every day, man.
So you're disengaging a potential altercation? Isn't that in your head more than in reality?
Do you have a TV?
Why is it reality? I work class white people all the time. I ain't got to speak.
Why are you running?
You ain't going to obligate me to speak so you don't be scared of me. I'm not speaking to you, and I ain't going to hurt you either.
You just de-escalate the situation.
Oh, so that's the gentle giant / the black gentle giant syndrome, which I suffer from. But it's exhausting, and I don't suffer from it. I'm not trying to make you feel at ease everywhere out there.
And as a black man, you have to make that conscious decision to yourself.
Really do.
I'm not making everybody else comfortable.
Fuck them.
Because it's not my fault.
Right? Like you get into one of those.
I like people, but I ain't gotta like you so you ain't scared of me.
Right.
I'm not running down the hill. Stay scared. They clutch their purse. When someone ever tries to show me, I had an incident. I went to Buffalo a couple weeks ago. To the game, Buffalo Bills game. And this lady got on the plane, and everyone else in Buffalo, like, you're going to Buffalo, you know you're going to Buffalo, because the whole plane is white, everybody got on jackets, and then it's like this black family show up. I wonder if he used to play for the Bills. You know, it's kind of that conversation. I get it. We sit there, and everyone is being pleasant, nice, or giving me love. Hey, Wiley, good to see you. And then this one lady, she was a little sauced up. She looked at me, she was like, and she did this, and then she walked right past me. She said, "To the back of the bus I go."
Wow.
Now, okay, see, my alarm went off too. Like, I was like, radar, rampart. She tried to go there, and you know, I was like,
were you sitting in first class?
You know it.
You already won.
But the point is, I didn't go there with her, but I know
You already won though. She's feeling it. You already won.
But my point is, I don't even want to engage.
You don't have to. You won already.
But you engage when they scared. You engage.
No, I'm just saying. I'm running by saying good morning.
That's a different situation.
Of course.
But it's an engagement with somebody who is not thinking straight. I could have engaged with that lady, and then it could have escalated. But why are you
engaged? That's like crossing the finish line first and then turning around and going,
I hear you. But I'm asking you too.
Yeah.
Why are you engaging with someone you don't know if you want or not? Just answer. I need an answer.
This is how I think. This is how I think.
I could be a loser.
This is how I think. This is how my mind works because of the trauma. Right? I get down to the bottom of the hill. Something happens. Right? I'm coming down out. There's a police car in the parking lot. Someone called and said anything.
You can't explain. I was just jogging, shit, paranoid.
What world you living in?
So when I was
someone that has never had a bad incident.
Listen to me. I was in San Diego State.
Utopia, maybe.
Listen, this is why this happens. I was in San Diego State. I'm in the cafeteria on a Saturday. Right? Somebody runs into the cafeteria. White guy with a fanny pack on. He reaches, plain clothes, reaches into his fanny pack, pulls out a gun. He's running at me and he's screaming, "Get on the ground." Get on the ground. And I'm like, what is happening? Wow. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Where is it? Where is it? Grabs me, slams me on the ground, knee splashes me, hit my mouth on the ground. My mouth is bleeding. Where is it? Where is it? I don't know what he's talking about. Right? This is a white guy, black guy. I'm an athlete, full ride scholarship, on campus, Saturday. Handcuff me, take me down the back stairs, throw me down the stairs. Right? Slam me on the hood of the car. I don't know what's going on. I didn't even know he was a police officer until he put the handcuffs on.
That part.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm a kid. I'm 17 years old.
Yeah.
Right? He says, I hear over the thing, whatever, they were looking for someone.
And you fit the description. I've been there. I've been there.
Happened to me.
But you know how traumatic that is for a 17-year-old at school on full ride scholarship?
So that's why you say something to the ladies as you run down the
trauma.
That's why you do it.
I don't get to forget because it was a mistake.
It was an experience.
He uncuffed me.
But
so laughing. I guess I made a mistake.
What element of that was explicit racial? Because what if it was an Asian person that fit the description? He did it to Eugene.
No, it's personal experience. It's race agnostic.
It actually happened.
It really happened.
I want to be nice to a cop in the future. I'd already have my walls up. Be like, what you want from me?
No, that's
but know my rules, know my rights.
Let me not push back against your personal experience. I'm sitting at a bus stop in front of a bank. Cop goes by, looks at me, give me the double stare. I ain't tripping. I'm listening to my songs. He comes, another cop comes to the corner. Next thing I know, cops jumping out, shotguns, guns everywhere. Get down. I fit the description. Bank just got robbed.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. They all of a sudden they didn't do all the brutality stuff to me. So
But what if they did?
okay, and that's where
Then would be a different situation.
But what I was
You'd be having a different conversation
Yes,
because you didn't do anything to warrant that.
Yes.
Lieutenant Steve Williams, I asked him what his name was. Because I was, bro,
I get it.
So now I'm like,
That's wild. That's wild.
so if I don't have these conversations with these black boys who the world doesn't value like we do, it's a value system in this country, and we can ignore it as black men, as black people, and ignore. Things are changing. Things are going for the better. Obviously not. We see where we are right now socially in terms of the racial
you don't think Steve Williams could have got that same call and it was
I can't speculate on what could have happened.
Yeah.
All I can speculate, I can just tell you what happened. A
testimony.
17-year-old kid on full ride scholarship was my mom came down. She got written statements from every single person that was in that cafeteria. Right?
Well,
every single person in that cafeteria who witnessed what happened to me. Why did it happen to me? Somebody was playing with a water gun 3 miles away.
plus, how are either of you fitting anybody's description?
I mean,
You know how?
John Norman's
No, I'm saying,
the biggest person I've ever seen.
right?
It's this.
It's that.
that's what I'm saying. You know
I
how.
got pulled over one time, and a cop, this is a long story, but I'm going to shorten it. Cop locked me up. He kept saying, you got a warrant for this. I had never had a warrant for anything. And he was like, he looked at my name. I'm like, I know for a fact my name is not in there. But he was adamant that it was. Took me down to the precinct, locked me up, did all of this,
Fingerprinted you.
everything.
Now you were in the system.
Sat in there for a whole night.
Ooh.
Then the next day, they didn't let me get a call or nothing, so nobody even knew I was there. So the next day, randomly he comes out, he's like, did the same thing, laugh. Wrong ID. Just let me go.
Wrong ID.
Wrong identity.
Because we
It wasn't
know
yours.
you're not going to fight it, right? African American
Supposedly,
kid doesn't
who
have
they
a
were
lawyer,
looking
we know
for,
you're not going to
it
fight
wasn't even remotely close to the description, and the name was not even close.
Come on.
But he thought at the time, I was driving a Range Rover, brand new, right?
Oh, you slumming for your Rolls Royce you got now? He rich gang.
Right.
He rich gang.
This is the story behind it. I'm saying it was where I was at. I was in my parents' neighborhood, still in the. So I know what it was. You seen the car I was in,
1,000%.
and you was just looking for something.
Damn.
You just knew that if you got me, I was up to something.
Yeah.
I wasn't up to nothing.
Wow.
And through all of that,
Wow.
Y'all remember? Y'all remember when Mike Tyson got out of prison and he had his first fight? This world famous DJ Steve Silk Hurley had a party in Chicago, and we all went to the party, right?
I love how he's world famous. None of us heard of him.
He said world famous, and we all looked at each other like.
That is an indictment on me, not Steve.
Yeah.
And I know he killed it.
So we get out of the party,
Yeah.
and I'm with my best friend, whose father was Attorney General of Illinois at the time. And we walk out the party, and there's nothing but police, and it was a nicest, coolest party ever in River North in Chicago, and there was nothing but police out there. They had the whole precinct out. And my buddy walked up to the guy in the white shirt, it indicated he was the head guy. And he said, hey, this is a strong police presence. What's happening out here? So we know what's happening. And the guy was like, oh, nothing, this is precautionary, blah, blah, blah. They had a great little conversation. He was walking away. A young policeman ran up to him, said, why are you talking to him? Why are you on, and he said, that was between us. He said, you're going to jail. And he locked my friend up right there, put him in a paddy wagon. I walk up to the paddy wagon. I said, where are you taking him? His father is blah, 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 Attorney General of Illinois. And he said, we're taking him to blah, blah, blah. And he said, are you with him? I said, yeah. He said, you're going to jail too.
Oh, I've heard of that.
And they locked me up and throw me in the paddy wagon. And then we could hear them talking, and they were screaming at the rookie. They were like, we gotta take him to jail now. It's like, that's Attorney General's son, and that's Judge Park. Now we gotta take him to jail. What are you doing? So they knew they were wrong, but they couldn't backtrack. And then the DA was changing charges to see anything that skipped. And we get to court, and they're like, if you promise not to sue us, we'll drop all the charges. And that's how it went.
That's corrupt.
If you don't have a conversation with your kids, that's negligible.
I don't agree, but I do understand and respect. Let me tell you why. Because I see so many people who fall victim to police brutality seeming to have been programmed to look out for the police, so they're triggered. Like I told you, I break it down like film, like I do hydration situations. Like I watch these incidents. Tyreek Hill, he was in the wrong. I don't care what law.
Yeah, he shouldn't have gotten that far though.
First of all, it starts with you speeding. That's fine.
Okay.
But then, are you telling your kids this? Are you telling your kids this? They just riding. Police hit them with the siren. They stop in the middle of the street. Roll the window down this far. What you pulling me over for? And then he says, you're speeding. Pull over. Window up, here you go. I can't see in there now, bro. Now, I don't want to go into those details. I know we might divide, but you think that was about...
But he didn't break the law, though.
When they told him to get out, and he didn't
but
get out?
why, though?
Because they
Why did they tell him?
Well, I can't see in that car.
The cop was pissed off
Thank
because
you.
he couldn't do what he wanted him to do.
Thank you.
And
that's not the law.
No,
That's not the
you
law.
can't see it.
No, if I can't see in the car, that is.
There you go.
Right, so you do remember he rolled both of them. He did. No, but he rolled
And then he rolled them back up, too.
Yes. There's only 2 seats in the car.
Yeah, and I need to see
You
it.
don't trust who's in the
Hold on,
car.
first of all, if I'm a
he
cop,
rolled both
forget
the
the law.
windows down.
You ain't about to
That's all,
just
and
bust
he
me
rolled
out.
them up.
So when
right?
he rolled them up,
So
cops are gonna say,
now you
He
can't-
told him, and he knocked.
You can't invent the law because you feel a certain type
No,
of
no. When he rolled
But
the
that's
windows
what I'm
up,
saying.
he went like this. Hey, roll the window down. Roll the window down.
Yeah, he told him a couple
And the dude, like, is that the talk you having?
No.
Is that the talk
No,
anybody having?
I'm not having that talk.
Marcellus, you're coming from a human perspective. We're talking about cops, right? But
Cops are human.
Exactly. They're human beings.
I went to school with them dudes.
Right.
They normal as
What
hell.
we don't know about each of these
Not
cops
the bad
or
apples,
people is their personal experience. I mean, go back to the scenario that Ephraim had about if I'm going to be running down the trail, 2 women, looking at me weird. I'm going to put my parents in that situation. Let's say they saw him running down the hill. They're going to be afraid.
They're just going to be scared, though.
Why?
With a TV.
Personal experience. Their experience is they lived through the LA riots as a liquor store
Oh,
owner,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what we don't know about these people is what did they
What's
go
their
through?
experience
What trauma did they go
Yeah.
through that's causing
That's
that
going-
response reaction?
Trigger
Whether
'em.
it's a police officer, a teacher, a kid.
I think
It's a
right
human
now,
inside.
your
That's a great
your
one.
experience right now, right? If all your teeth was fake because the cop would have threw you on the ground and busted all your fronts, and today you have fake teeth,
Yeah, I'm sounding
you'd be
different.
like, hey, my experience was way different.
Great
And
point.
you have to prepare. Look, and it may not happen.
But
we don't want it to happen.
But
I can't say to my son if he gets pulled over, get out the car and question what's going on.
But I had to talk, Ephraim.
Right.
My dad told me 10-2, yes sir, no sir, everything, you're gonna be fine.
And that's the
I'm
conversation you have
50,
with your kids.
and I'm 50. Okay, I'm having that conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm not having this conversation laced
Of
with,
what?
but you a black man, so you better look out.
You have to.
But you
I'm
have
not-
to. They
you have
blind.
to. You know what this comes back to?
Whether you want to
What did we
acknowledge
get
it here or not, the world sees them as
black.
Even the black dudes that I went to high school with,
Oh,
Joey
yes.
Boulder, who was
Yeah,
sheriff,
yeah, man.
Joey Boulder pulled over
He's
my
not
son.
gonna-
Joey ain't gonna pull
He's
him
not
over.
gonna pull your son over.
Uncle Rick is gonna pull him over.
He not gonna
Or
pull your son over.
Country Dan is gonna pull him over.
You're preparing
And
your
that's what you
you're
can't-
preparing
you
your
can't be
kids
ready for
for
Country
a
Dan.
small
Country
segment.
Dan
I
looking
hear
for the
it.
small
A small segment of reality. We're having the conversation for the broad landscape, and that's just not here. That's anywhere they go in the country.
I mean, not every cop is bad. We're
Not
talking
every
about
cop.
the
We
bad
know that.
apples that they might
We know
run
that,
into.
but all it takes is one to change your whole family's life for the worse.
And to
All
tie
it takes
back-
is
to
one.
tie it back, from what I understand, Fred Kerley was trying to do something that the police didn't want him to do. He wanted to, from what I read, he wanted to get something out of his car.
You can't get
And,
that other
and
car.
get to
Because
his
a
car.
cop is gonna think
When
you're
they
going to
were-
get a weapon.
When they were saying,
I would think you're going to get a
he
weapon.
was with his woman,
Yeah.
walking down the street. He wanted something in his car when the car was cordoned off or something
can't
like
do
that.
that.
and he
do
Let
that.
that go. You
right.
can't-
He didn't let it go,
And that's the conversation
and
we're
he
having
felt
with kids.
entitled
Let that go.
enough that he
Let
was
that
going to
go.
be able to
No,
get
no,
it.
That's
we're not
not the
doing that.
moment.
You know,
You gotta give him the
as
game.
an Olympian.
Being black and entitled in this country,
it's a hard road.
And again,
Brother.
there's only so many bad cops at the end of the day.
yeah.
That's
This
the
is not
comment all the
anti-police
time.
at all.
Right,
Right.
right.
This is not anti-police at all.
And
It's
maybe
a
they
bad
didn't.
outcome.
Maybe they didn't
This is
respond
anti-assholes.
respond
But
the way they
it
should
only
have.
takes one.
It only takes one, man. It
But the
changed
fact
your
is,
whole
if it-
family's life.
if
But stop telling these kids that if you tell them 10 to 2 and comply that they're a little punk. I think a lot of that's coming from the
who said
narrative.
that?
It's like, oh, if you just sit there,
That's
you
not
know
the
your rights.
conversation.
The attack against that is
No,
you know
we're
your
not doing
rights.
that.
And I'm
We're
like,
not doing that.
yeah,
We're talking about the rights when you come home safe.
You feel like
Yeah,
We're
that's
talking about
right.
that. We have lawyers now. We'll talk about that with the lawyer.
You got a
But
right
if
to
you're
tomorrow.
getting right, hey man, you get what I'm saying? Oh, there you go. There you go.
I'm just having a little something. I'm listening.
the lawyer.
That's it, right? It's 1 o'clock. Well, how long are we going tonight?
You gotta
How long are
teach
we going today?
We got a couple more segments. Don't act like that.
I need 2 fingers.
Gotta go get my
Oh,
kids.
oh,
Fingers.
Yeah,
Whoa, wait a
oh.
minute.
I need to wait.
That was
2
crazy.
fingers.
Oh, yeah.
This is what my uncle used to say. Pour me 2
Well,
fingers.
it means something else now.
You know what that's an example of? It goes back to the Compton Columbia thing. You said you didn't want first. You didn't need that because of your own personal experience. You didn't need that. You're a free thinker. But just because you think a certain way, or just because you experience something, it doesn't apply to everybody else.
And the world
There's plenty
doesn't
of
think
people
like that.
who had the exact opposite experiences with cops than you. So I feel like you got to give.
Well, show me the film. Then.
You got to.
Yeah, plenty of film that goes tend to comply and nothing happens. I've seen rare cases of that, but I've seen it.
There's plenty of film. out
I've
there
seen
where-
it.
There's a lot,
where-
man.
Where
And just
guys-
guess what? A lot of it's not on film.
Right.
Oh, that great
most
point.
Most of it's not on film.
And you know why it's on film now? Because they have to incorporate that. They have to put body cams on.
They
because
cut
it's
them off
happening
now.
so much.
No, that's
And
real.
it's like, you got to put body cameras on.
All right, James, you go in the theater if you need some privacy, big dog. We got you. Here we go. We ain't done. Damn, where the couch go? I go get this.
It's 1 o'clock. We got kids and
that-
you at home.
Oh, I know that is true. Damn, all right, we got to talk about. We got 2 more things to talk about. We're gonna do it quick too. One is we were talking about earlier, like social media and sports media in particular is upside down, obviously, with the FS1 lawsuit. Don't you work at Fox? Yeah. So you obviously have some intel as well. But I wanted to talk about this focus because a lot of people have taken this old lawsuit and deduced it down to just Joy Taylor and her ascension to her level through the allegations, whether they're true or false, but more about women in sports media. And I thought it was interesting because I never had an opinion against women in sports media. Because I also don't give men props just because they're a man talking sports.
You gotta know what you're talking about.
I'm listening. As soon as you say something.
That's the barometer we grade at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you could be anybody, look any way, any experience, but if I hear you break it down, you broke it down. But I'm hearing that there's a lot of misogyny. I know that the people are out there saying there's a different place for women and men in sports media. And I'm like, are y'all serious? We talking segregation? But to that conversation, what do you feel about women in sports media, where they are right now, where they should be?
When you talk about women in sports media, number one, we're talking about people,
Yeah.
right? Gender aside, if you know the sport, if you know your craft, if you perfected your craft, like so many of the great women in sports media, some played sports and got into it like most athlete men do, some haven't. But that doesn't mean you don't know the game. Most of the pundits or people who talk about sports didn't play sports.
Yeah.
So if they're students of the game, what makes a woman not a student of the
I
game?
get you, right.
You get what I'm
They're-
saying?
they're distant from the experience.
If Skip Bayless has never played a down of football, right, or Stephen A, or anybody, and they get to speak on it,
If they get to do it,
then how come a woman can't, right? Like that is an enlightened
say it.
way to look at the world. Look, I don't care who you are. If you're qualified to do it, then do it. Now you can't get up there and just wing it. Just like if you were a guy and you were up there just trying to wing it.
Yeah.
I'm turning that off. Like I'm not interested in that.
That part.
Now, the powers that be, if they're targeting or looking for something specific in terms of visually, and the person's not qualified, that's when the lines start getting blurred, right?
Yeah.
But when you start looking at, you know, the Pam Olivers and the Jamil Hills and all, like, you could turn them on just like you could turn anybody on, and you can listen to them because they know what Nancy Lieberman, right? Like, all of these tremendous women who bring a voice to the game because
Doris Burke.
Doris Burke,
Top dog.
right? Doris Burke. Like, so if you're in this mindset of women don't got no place in sports, then you really ain't got no place in sports either.
But
Like, for real. Like, that's
Tell
just
them
about
NARPS.
it.
Tell them NARPS.
My deal too, though, is that how can you make a judgment? And we can go. I know you guys love Skip Bayless. He's a good friend of you guys.
Oh, he a narc though.
I mean, but he started interviewing in Dallas, and a lot of reporters came out of Dallas during our time, and they never played a down.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between them learning their craft than a woman? I know it's a lot of great women that's able to go into the barbershop and talk ball just like
us.
Yeah. Lisa Leslie, the homie.
That's
Break
what
it down,
I'm just
break it
saying.
down.
So I don't think it should be any discrimination. They belong just like the next person belong if they done their homework and handled their business.
That's such a strong point you guys are both making because Skip and Stephen A. etc. get to talking and we looking at them like, when'd you play and where
Colin
you play?
Cowherd, right? Like,
it's like
some of the biggest in the business.
That's tremendous.
I'm like, bro, you
it's two different conversations.
I mean, all the time.
It is,
all
but
the
go
time.
ahead, go ahead.
Broadcasters.
I don't think many question if a woman can be in sports in that level because as you named, there's plenty of them that are top tier when it comes to talking their sport across the board. I think it's more in question specific ones, like ones who look like they're only there for this reason.
Oh, Candy.
Like, right.
Yeah.
You look this way, that's why you're there. But, you're
But
not
after
really
you hear
bringing out-
But
them, you know that's not a
both
that's
things
not
can be true.
I can hear you for 10 minutes. and I'll go, okay, she belongs
but
there.
I also blame some of that on producers and the network of those shows. So like I'm talking about Skip, like this Skip and Shannon when they were together, when they initially had Joy Taylor and the other girl, I forgot her name, that was there. Their role is to not say much.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of be immediate. Now, if you're a person if you're just a fan watching, you don't understand that dynamic.
Yeah.
You might look at it and go, well, she doesn't bring nothing to the show.
Right.
She just sits there. She's just there for the physical. So I think that's where some of the
Misconstrued.
comes.
It can be
comes in.
misunderstood.
So if you look good and don't say something, then we on your head.
Yeah,
Because Carissa, I work with Carissa Thompson. She fine as all outdoors, beautiful, and she can talk, but she's more of a host. I get it. It's weird how they get attached to how they look, and that's part of the game that's rigged because they don't attach it to Skip. They don't look at Skip. I mean, he yoked up, but look at Skip. And Colin, they don't care about how he look. Whitlock, they don't care about none of us how we look. So that's tough because you're getting judged by that. But I work with Michelle Beto. She wasn't ever looked at like Carissa was. I think Carissa got the most like, wow, look at her, or Erin Andrews, etc. Like, it's weird to be judged like no matter what I say, you're looking at how cute I am saying it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they spend hours in the makeup room. We spend minutes. This is how the game go.
This is the same conversation we had earlier, guys, about black men as coaches and quarterbacks. It's the same exact conversation.
Yeah.
There's no difference. There's just the bias of
Have I been drinking? I don't get it.
Well, what do you
No,
don't get?
if you're being honest with yourself, right? The people who are judging the females for looking good, but not being able to just be good at what they do. They just look good, is what he's saying. Like, okay, but we did the same thing.
It's like they look at us as a threat.
But who's doing the judging?
Same conversation.
Like, we can't let the back of the class always get the attention of the whole room. Like, okay, people always gonna say dumb stuff.
Yep.
Don't mean I gotta listen to it or acknowledge it or
Period.
give it credence.
I think what we're talking about, the people out there saying dumb stuff, stop saying dumb stuff. But they ain't
Never
gonna
gonna
stop.
happen.
Right, it ain't
Never
gonna happen,
gonna
so it don't even matter
Never
at the
gonna
end of the
happen.
day.
And it's not supposed to happen,
One thing,
frankly.
though, as much as we're forward thinkers in this realm of women being on there, we can't act like privilege is not a thing. Because this whole conversation came up is because they're saying that she wasn't talented. She came from nowhere. She was a bartender, and all of a sudden, she's on the show. So, and
That's louder now than ever,
Right.
but I worked there and I never looked back. to say how she got here. Because like you said,
No,
she
I'm not
started.
saying you said that.
No.
That's just
But I'm saying me from my whole experience. Like I ain't even hear it like that. You know why? Because she was on the show where let Colin go and then you say a little bit, or let Skip and Shannon go and you say a little bit. So she was in that role with a pretty person role. It's like Carrie Champion, her, Molly, they all get in that role. They all look good, and they not supposed to say that much. Molly be flexing now because she like, oh, I've been here too long. Right.
Yeah, she
But
didn't
the
do that.
point is, I never looked like Joy unqualified. Because I was like, that's a role that's easy to qualify for. You already looked the part, you know what I mean?
Now you can evolve into like being a rookie,
Yeah,
right? Being a rookie on the team, right?
The more
You
you
can be
can
on the
do, the
practice
longer you
squad,
stick
or you can be on special teams, and then in 2 years you're starting because now you have a full scope of
Wes Welker.
what you're supposed to do.
Now you're the man.
Right? So now you grow within that job, just like you grow within sports. So if you come in just as a moderator or a mediator and you're adding just, you know, you're taking us in and out of the breaks and stuff like that, and then you evolve into being a co-host, right? Because you've been doing it for 4, 5 years, and now you've elevated your game and your ability.
That's what I thought.
That's what
I
happened.
thought Joy got her stripes as she was going
Those are
on.
all facts, but I think where it comes in question is how did you get the moderator job?
Right.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that then, and no one knew
Well,
it
I get
then.
that. I understand
How
that.
did you get that?
Yeah, you had the opportunity.
But somebody got to get that job.
Somebody, somebody go to NABJ.
But
There
who
are never
cares?
any male moderators.
Right.
But again, who
we got the
cares?
2 male anchors. It's like
Yeah, but I mean,
male. That sandwich got to have bread and meat. Like,
as a
like-
producer, I don't want just all male sometimes. I don't want all female sometimes.
Yeah.
And that one producer says, you know what, we've had 3 dudes. This year I'm going to flip it. I'm going to bring on 1 girl and have 2 dudes. Okay, he's a genius. We're looking at him like, oh, he did something wrong. Like maybe he just saw something before everybody else saw it.
I just have a quick
But who cares how you got there though? Because the fact is that the bottom line, are you talented?
Got it. Yeah,
And can you
gotta keep-
perform? Me personally, the hardest part is to move the show alone.
Yeah.
I think
That
that
is
is
the
a
hardest
talent. I think that is a talent. And if
Oh,
want
you're welcome.
to
Thank
move-
you. I'm doing
Man.
it. I don't look the part, but damn it, I'm moving this shit along.
You are pretty. You are pretty.
Yeah, pretty doggone ugly.
Okay, well, you know, our batteries are going low because this is how long we talk and how fast it goes around here. Last one is, not to end on a somber note, but all of us have been affected by the Los Angeles fires. I just want quick stories of what you went through, what you or yours went through. I know it's been crazy around here. Just like a little round table real quick before these batteries go off. Starting off. All right, start with you, James.
So the Rose Bowl, we have been devastated by this, but what the Rose Bowl did is shut down all concerts, all abilities, and all first-time people. They are here. They live on our campus. We had to cancel the weekend concert. We had to cancel. Took money out the pocket. First-time responders from out of the country, everywhere.
That's a staging area right
It's a
there.
staging
Yeah.
area where they
Awesome,
perform.
man.
And to watch be turned upside down, man, this has been, I've had friends who lost their homes. 6 people that I know, have just came back and nothing there.
Yeah, your Rose Bowl, Pasadena,
Pasadena,
Altadena,
yeah,
that area
all that
was
stuff.
devastated.
That's a historic black neighborhood. It's gone.
Yeah.
Whole
All
neighborhood.
that Altadena, all gone, just gone.
Palisades gone. I'm talking about. It's not in the mountains. It's not in the hills. It's
Houses.
It's gone.
This is a neighborhood. Grocery stores, 7-Eleven, gas stations, high schools, gone. It's been crazy, man. We, late one night, the Hollywood Hills fire was happening, and then there was a fire on Ventura. We were caught in the middle. We packed up. Our kids freaking out, like, what's going on? We had to pack up. We left for the night because we just didn't know, and we didn't want to be caught at 3 o'clock in the morning, like, yo, you got to go now. And then you get the alert that people are targeting those who've evacuated and breaking in the house. And looting. And I'm like, what bizarro world are we living in where people are losing everything and those that don't are now being robbed?
Right. And one of the guys is running down the hill in front of 2 white women.
But know who it was. And he fits the description. But he said.
Y'all had to be watching earlier.
But he said hello on the way up.
You packed up the Rolls Royce?
He didn't get much in there. He didn't get much. That's the biggest car with no space.
Y'all gonna have people running in his house.
Right.
Don't y'all stop putting my boy on blast.
He was like, baby, I got my iPhone. She's like, that's all we can bring.
We full. It's full.
Yo, Sean. What about
It's the toy car they talking about.
You know what? In a weird way, I have really been enjoying it. In a weird way, but
Phrase that properly.
no,
Don't confuse the levity for the lack of sensitivity.
rose-colored glasses.
Okay.
My brother lives a mile up the road from you, but he's up in the hills in Tarzana,
Okay.
where they are right on the fire break line.
Yeah.
So my brother, my sister-in-law, and my mom, my 90-year-old mom, have been staying with me in Studio City for the last week. And I've enjoyed, his house has been safe, and I've enjoyed having my
them
family in my place. Because we use his house as the gathering place for everything. And coming off the holidays, everything has been focused in his house and blah, blah, blah. And it's good I'm enjoying giving back to them because they give so much to our family.
Oh, that's big.
So I want everybody to say, I know a lot of people who have lost homes in the Palisades and in Altadena, and people don't realize that there's nothing left to these homes that are burning.
Oh, yeah.
It's
gone.
literal
Everything.
ash. It is
it's
like Beirut getting bombed. There's no coming back to it. These communities are going to be gone probably for the next decade. And it's not going to change. And people are in real peril. I don't know where they're going. I don't know where
They don't know where they're going.
Right, and I'm just lucky. Like my daughter who goes to NYU, hi Piper, she couldn't take it. She was stressed out, so she took the first thing back smoking last Friday. My other daughter was already gone to her college. So my family is safe. We live in the concrete jungle part of the city. But those who are affected, I hope they can find something that gives them a little bit of solace. Like having my family in my place has given me.
I totally get where you're coming from, man. It's been a wild week for me, for us, for all of us in this room, etc. The city of Los Angeles. For me, the way I deal with my pain is I laugh at it, and I've always been that way. And this week I had to put on my face, and I had to laugh more than ever because it was so painful to go through what I was going through. As the leader of the home, in terms of the face of our house, like I'm the one that can't show it because they all peeking. They hear me, but they're looking. If Daddy worried, it's rap. Including my wife, all of them. It's rap. So I knew that, but inside, man. So the 4 days without power, wouldn't raise my hand to go through that again. But at the same time, it was like half the day the lights are on from natural light. The other half, we're about to go to sleep in 2-3 hours. So like we dealt with it. Solar, little lights, candles. We were okay. But then, you're checking the map. Everybody and their mom is on that app that shows you where the fires are going. And your house is this far away. And then it's this far away. And this far away. And you're texting everybody. You're trying to respond. At the same time, you're fatigued because you don't know. You're answering. It's like being I told someone, it felt like I was in goal line. And it was 4th down. We stopped them. And they kept calling the penalty. So it was 5th down, 6th down. I was in 98th down, dog. I was like, dog, we can't get off the field.
Half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance to go, and there's nothing left. And I'm like, yo, this is coming. So I'm on a call, and I'm in the backyard on a call, and skies are blue. I'm okay. And my kids come out and say, Daddy, the fire is crazy. And I was like, what? I'm looking at the app. I'm like, it's far enough. It's not crazy. And then 10 minutes later, after dismissing them, they came back like, Daddy, look. And I had to go take another angle. Went in the backyard and looked, and all I saw was red, black smoke. And it was here. And dog, I on the inside I panicked.
On the outside, I wore it well. I said, kids, go grab your stuff. They got 1,000 questions. We already were packed. Grab your stuff, let's go. We're going to the car. But I want one more thing. And when they kept saying one more thing, I told myself, I'm not grabbing anything. And I don't know what part of my mentality went there, but I was like, if I'm gonna lose this home, I'm gonna start over fresh. I didn't grab a bag. I didn't grab the toiletries. I said, I got my phone. I figure everything else because I know my social.
Can't hide the money.
And the money's not here.
Right. And I was like,
You had the black card. You had that black card with you.
and maybe it's that.
That's what it is.
That's
You like,
why
as long
you
as
buy
you,
that.
that's what you feel. As long as they're safe, we can get all this.
Okay, that's what it was. Because I didn't think about the money. I thought about my kids are with me. My wife's at
As long
work.
as we safe,
You can keep
all
everything.
this can come back.
And then my wife is blowing me up. Baby, go get this and this and this and fill up black bags. I said, baby, where do I start? Like if I come in this room,
What you gonna tell?
like where am I gonna end? So I'm not even gonna start it because I don't know where to end it. I'm like, I'm out. We're good. She yelling at me.
As long as they're safe.
You're safe.
That's all that matters.
That's it, man. That's
So,
it.
so I had that moment, and then the kids are in the car. We're safe. We drive around for hours, and I'm like, it looks like it's far enough, but I'm no fireman. I'm like, I think we okay, and I come back. Then the next day, it's the 99th down. I'm like, damn, they get another. And then this time, we're out front of my house, and my wife, we're neighbors. We've been here 3 years that we've never spoken to because they are far across the street. You do different schedules. We see them, hey, never spoke. They come over. We now breaking bread, talking. Everybody's sharing intel. And finally, it went to this. My wife started crying, and I ain't gonna lie, I was like, oh man, I can't hold it. And I played it off, and I went in the house to go look for the kids and make sure they were good, even though I knew they were, because I was like, this is the first time I don't think I could hold it together for her, because I'm thinking, this, I admit it. In that moment, I said, oh, we're gonna lose this house. Like, I was like, damn, we did the show one time, gone. Like, which one of them bad luck? Let me start. They ain't coming back. I ain't coming back.
And there was nobody coming. And who'd you come up with?
I didn't go that far. I know where to look. That's the important. I know where to look. Dog.
The second to the oldest.
First into my mind. Man, and I never thought, and I'm the type that will move on, and like you said, we go next man up, next play up, let's just go next level. And I was like, damn, I really am gonna lose my home. And obviously we didn't, we're here, but I want us all to pay respects to everybody who lost their homes, lost their way, people have lost their lives, first responders, oh man, in despair, but still plowing through it. And to bring it all home for us, man, our sponsor, Fathead, the CEO, Chris Heatherton, lost it all.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? Just laced us. We got a great partnership. He went to Yale when I went to Columbia. Known him forever. Great dude. We've been chopping it up a ton lately. Hit him up on the text. Just like, you know, the same text. You try to even cut and paste it because you're sending it so much.
You good?
You good? How you with the fire? And no one's responding back with like horrible news, just like evacuation. I'm okay, I'm fine. And he hit me back, big dog, lost it all. Rap. And that put it in perspective for me, kept some of my tears from coming out, because I was like, I'm still here, we still here.
A couple hours of no light, like not a big deal.
Not a big deal, man. So appreciate everybody here, man. Our prayers, our thoughts, our love to everyone out there affected, you and yours. And this is episode 2 of On the Rocks. This is how we roll. Friends, family. We just come together and talk real life all the time on the Rocks. So appreciate y'all rocking with us. Hey.